Margot, only the person that you're trying to find. And we transition in. Let's just that's fine. We'll just hello and welcome to this week's thrilling episode of Shadowrun with me. Up above this fantastic crew, down below me, down there, looking slightly different this week. They've made an effort, I notice. No, I'm the other way around, actually, Big. So I noticed that, Big, you've got rid of your hat. And I've noticed that the hat's moved along to Longshanks.
Yes, it's my turn next week.
So they only have one hat between them, and they have to pass it along. So hopefully next week, Longshank. Chuggerwugger will have it on, and then that's it. And then it passes up to me.
What do you mean, hopefully?
Well, it depends whether or not it gets from wherever Longshanks lives to your place. I just wish you could just pass it between the boxes. That would be so clever now, and actually do it. We need to work on that. Somebody would have to have the hat ready with somebody else in their room, and so pass it across at the same time. Excellent. So hi, welcome, and we always like to start off the stream by letting the players introduce themselves and who they actually play in this exciting adventure. So without further ado, we're going to start off with Chuggerwugger because he always takes the longest. Off you go.
I do not.
You do.
I'm just doing short ones now. Hi, I'm Chuggerwugger.
Thank you. Okay, I know.
Always have to interrupt. Always have to have the last word.
That reminded me of that joke. I heard this joke again, and I haven't heard it for ages. And you're not allowed to spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me. Anybody, don't spoil it because I get cross if you spoil it. So just play away. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow. No, it doesn't work unless you say interrupting cow. I was trying to think, what was the other? I'm sure there was a whole load of other jokes that went with that one, but I can't remember them at all. I'm sure there was a series of jokes that went with them, but I can't. Anyway,
there was a series of jokes that went with forest fires and webbed feet and.
No, those were elephant jokes, but I'm sure there was a lot of knock jokes that went one after another, and I can't remember what it was. Anyway,
I'm Chuggerwugger, and I played the Decker.
Yeah, you play Faze, who's rather bald, and that's it. Excellent. And straight below me is Longshanks EPG.
Hi guys, I'm Big Beastie. I am playing the Archbishop tank of the group called Billy Bob. He has a lovely little black book with full of names of all his various women that he's got on the go. And he runs around with a Beretta at the moment filled with gel rounds, shooting everything that moves.
Excellent. And rather at the end we have...
You twat. Okay then, that makes me in Wills. I am the DM and
the GM.
I make up the stories.
And my name's Hector. I have twin guns like the Milky Bar Kid, and whatever you're strong and tough. As long as you know what's
only
good
the best
enough,
is good enough.
The milkiest,
the creamiest white.
The goodness, that's in Milky Bar. Excellent. Okay, then I have put all the right links into the chat. So there you go. And the viewers just go from about 12 to 2. They just think, what on earth have we stumbled into? Anyway, I'm going to shut you guys off now. So you are now actually muted because we're going to enjoy the intro to Shadowrun. Here we are. We are back. Let me open them up as well so they can hear you as well. Excellent. So welcome. Let me just get ready for the break thing on my studio. Okay. Yes. Oh yes. It's Dr. GF, guys. I know who it is. Okay. So just to let you know what has gone on beforehand. So this is a brief synopsis of the adventure beforehand and what's actually been going on. So the party of runners have actually been hired to participate in locating a certain missing secretary by her boss, who is concerned that she hasn't turned into work for the past 3 days. She hasn't turned into work for 3 days. It's been reported to the law enforcers, and they have really said, no, we're not really bothered at the moment. There are some recent, also some recent disappearances that happen in Southside in London, and it might be actually be connected to that. The party, the owner of the business, which is called, fill in the gaps, guys.
Black and White Legal Company.
Yeah, the Black and White Legal Company gave Margot's address, Margot McCain's address to the party, and they headed off. Well, Hector and Billy Bob did. They headed off to the apartment where they found a whole load of information. A couple of cleaners turned up, and apparently they weren't cleaners, and they also brought with their sniper support, which actually damaged Billy Bob a bit, and I think somebody else got damaged as well. And then they headed off back to meet up with FaZe, who was busy tapping the keyboards of his deck and finding out information. Once they got back, they found that there was some connection with Margot McCain's brother, whose name was
Jezza.
Yeah,
Jezza.
yeah,
Toe-rag.
Jeremy, who she calls Toe-rag. And if you remember, you put in a comlink call to find out who it was, and he was currently working in a kitchen doing the dishes. And I think FaZe, you actually you looked at the call, you traced the call, and you found that it was actually in Casper's place, which you've had some dealings with beforehand. Anyway, you actually arranged to meet Jezza McCain in the local park early this morning, and the only other thing that you found out is that the cleaners, when you opened their boiler suits, they had something an insignia on it. Yeah, it was an ant. Okay, then, and that's the other piece of information that you had. And if you remember, last week we tried to start the encounter with Jezza, but then Roll20 sort of like did its usual. It suddenly had.
That's it. Blame Roll20.
Yeah, it suddenly decided that it wasn't going to do anything, and so we had to stop. So I'm just going to check now that we can all see it. I'm just moving to the small section, and then we should be able to. And then I will move you guys on to make sure that you can see absolutely everything.
Right, let's move you. Well,
It's looking good for me.
Oh, I can actually see it. I know what you're on about this time.
Yeah.
I managed it completely
And
differently.
I can't see
imagine
the
it
sniper.
Okay, the sniper.
Triggerwigger, he is there. I can see him. He's there.
Oh, right.
So the sniper's
He's not a very good
currently.
one. He's got his gun out the tree.
Okay, so this is the pathway that sort of like threads its way through the park. All entrances and exits lead to the edge of the park, so you can escape quite easily if you wish. There's not a lot of people in the park because it's about 6 o'clock. I think 6 o'clock in the morning that you arranged this meeting, without looking at my
6
notes.
it was indeed.
Yeah, so it seems that it's probably the end of Jezza's shift, and he's actually, you can see him sat on the bench there. He's actually smoking what appears to be some kind of cigarette, but it's probably more than just nicotine in this day and age. You can see the tree line. You can see that the path at the end carries on and goes off the map, and you can go off the map, but just to let you know, if you go off the map, you almost like come on exactly the same side, if that makes sense. You just sort of like, it's like consider it a big tile. you know, that just replicates itself over and over and again. Okay, so there is Jezza.
I want to try to carry my machine pistol with me on this.
Yeah, cool.
It's about the size of and concealability of a heavy pistol. So
yeah, that's
just so you know.
Is it just out of interest? Is it restricted at all?
It is, and it's in the shoulder holster.
Okay, and it's just like in a normal shoulder holster. It's not like
it's a quick draw shoulder holster. But
it's not concealed in any way, though. No, it'd be too big for that. Yeah. So
well, it's the size of a heavy pistol. So
yeah,
I mean, I hopefully would get underneath my clothing. You know, underneath my.
Yeah. So heavy pistols are 0 on the concealability, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that because it's early in the morning, there's going to be less people around.
There's going to be less
people
around.
Sort of like going to point it out and.
So basically, if I wanted to find it, then I would just do my perception plus my intuition.
Yeah.
And then that would be it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
as we come into the park, can I just stop and just spend a bit of time and just observe in detail and see what else, see whether or not I recognise anybody else or anybody acting suspicious, you know?
Yeah,
any
can,
joggers or anybody who's gone past for the second time round or anything like that.
Right, so FaZe can make a perception check. That's absolutely fine.
Sorry, Mike. I won't be roll anything now.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the whole park is virtually empty. It is very early morning and it's very close to Casper, so it's quite sort of like in the nightclub area. You could probably see the odd chummers sort of like staggering home, but there seems to be nothing in the general area. There's no joggers out here. It seems to be quite empty and almost like too deserted.
After hearing about the escapade at Margot's place with the sniper, having a look around, is there any high buildings or anything like that?
I need to ask you about this because is this while you're walking towards it? Because currently you sort of like stood on the end of the edge of the map. I did say
I'm stopping and taking in the actual surroundings. And
okay, so Jezza can sort of like see you there at the present moment in time, so he's sort of like looking at you. So there are built up areas round about, all of which could actually house a sniper on it quite easily. Right. But saying that, most places in Southside could actually house a sniper in it. You probably could actually gain some cover from field of fire from the trees, you know. So, but even saying that, if you sort of like went here, that would probably give you field of fire from this direction and this direction, but probably not from this direction. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to, because he's spotted us, I'm just going to I'm going to walk slowly towards him, and I'm going to assume that Billy Bob and FaZe are going to be taking up some sort of backup position.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here and guard this entrance here.
Okay, that's cool.
If Billy Bob is waiting there, I'm going to go up and provide backup for Hector.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I want to keep I'm going to keep an eye out as the conversation is going. So, you know, keeping a look around. I want to occasionally switch to AR mode just to see, you know, do a quick scan to see whether or not there's any devices that I should be aware? Not hidden, but just running, just devices within 100 meters.
Yeah, by all means. Do you want to do a roll now, and then I'll use that roll, and then when you want to do another one, then just roll it again, so I know.
Okay.
What's this for? The roll?
He's doing a matrix perception in AR.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I'm just gonna like guard the gate in. Obviously.
It's just like an open entrance.
Oh, yeah. So guard the entrance. But at the same time, I'm gonna be looking around, making sure that no one's coming in from the other entrances, or that I can see. Looking around the buildings.
Yeah.
Hoping I can't see no snipers or whatever.
Okay, so you can't actually see all the entrances and exits from the park, because this park is quite extensive. But just roll your perception roll now, and then I'll take it into account as we go. Okay, Jez is sort of like sat on the bench, smoking away.
Okay, I will walk up to him and go, Jezza.
Your rolls tonight, by the way, guys, are so bad.
No.
I'm just looking at the number of successes. FaZe's perception roll, 1. FaZe's matrix perception roll, 1. Billy Bob's perception roll, 1. Sorry.
We're saving them for combat.
Yeah, saving them for later. I'm going to go up to Jezza and go, Jezza, my name's Hector. We spoke on the phone. I believe you're expecting me.
Yeah, it was on the comlink.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says you wanted some information.
Yes, my colleagues and I are trying to find your sister. She's gone, Margot. She's gone missing.
Why?
That's what we're trying to find out. She's been, her boss recorded her missing. Just similarly.
Yeah.
Apparently she's been missing for just over a week now.
So why do you think she's gone missing?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to work out. We're hoping. We think you were one of the last people to see her. So we're just hoping to get as much information from you as.
When was that?
The last weekend.
Yeah, I saw on Saturday. Sunday, I saw her.
Yeah, and so by all accounts, she went missing at some point after that, so between Sunday and the Monday morning, and we were just wanting to know sort of like what she was like, if she was worried, scared, or said anything that was odd for her, or anything like that, anything that can give us a clue of what might have happened to her.
She was a pain. She's my sister, mate. All sisters are pains.
Was she more of a pain than she normally is?
Sisters only have one pain level, mate. It's called maximum.
Did she mention anything? Anybody who was trying to get her, or she thought people were following her, or anything like that?
No, she didn't mention anything like that.
Was there anything that would strike you out of the ordinary about her that, sort of like, was she particularly unhappy or angry compared to normally when you saw her?
Mate, she's my older sister. She's constantly angry. Constantly. She's never not angry. I think she had a new haircut. Although I often say that all the time, just in case she hasn't had a new haircut. But if she has...
It's a good thing to say, just in case.
It's a good thing to say.
What do you think of her boss then?
Well,
do you think he could have done it? Maybe
he's not my type, but
No,
so these two guys meet on a park bench. What do you think of his boss then? Well, he's earns a good salary. Tends to have the crush on her.
Right. Okay. I can understand that. We also hear that you've managed to run off a bit of a gambling debt. Do you think that could have had anything to do with it?
How do you know
Her
that?
disappearance?
How do you know that?
It's what we do. We ask questions about lots of people to lots of people.
You've been investigating me.
Only so far as a possible cause for why your sister might have disappeared.
I don't think it's right you investigating me.
Well, I'm not going to meet a complete stranger without knowing a little bit about him, am I?
Well, if you've done that, then you'll know.
So my question is, do you think that they could have taken your sister to get their debt back?
Well,
Their money back?
No, because the debt's paid.
Is it? Okay, that's good.
All done. Or not necessarily paid. I'm working it off like a good citizen.
Can I judge intentions on him? See whether or not he's...
Yeah, by all means. And then I'll just tell you what you can see coming in the bottom end. 1 success. No success. You think he's telling the truth?
Excellent.
You can see that there seems to be some elven skateboarders coming in. These two down here are the two closest to you. They're also phased, just because you're closer. You can see that there's some more entering down here. Okay, they're definitely.
Sorry, down where?
I'm just putting them
Oh,
on.
right, sorry. I didn't know whether or not you pinged and
I
I was zoomed out.
I did, but then
Zoomed in, sorry.
then I was putting them on. So yeah, they seem to be like elven. They seem to be some kind of teenage gang, and they're sort of like dressed in gang leathers. You notice that they're all dressed to look almost like pixies. And they're sort of like are on skateboards, and they're sort of like coming along and then flipping them up, jumping up and flipping them, and sort of like doing it when they put the skateboard up at the back and whirl round on it, and then coming back.
Do they look armed?
You can make a perception roll. Just so you know, Billy Bob, you can see two more coming in the back entrance, the way that you came into the park as well.
There we go.
Much better.
We're in.
You probably think that they're. Let's have a look. You probably think that they're carrying maybe a knife or two.
Oh, right, so nothing to worry about.
You don't think they're armed as in carrying holdout pistols or submachine guns. Probably more sort of like the odd Swiss Army knife or steak knife, or somebody might have some kind of Bowie knife just to be the tough one, but they're just sort of like
that's not a knife.
Skating around, and they seem to be stopping. Just to let you know, Faze, their skateboards are wireless. They seem to be somehow linked to them to make them go faster. So it's not like they don't always have to push them. They can just sort of like control them wirelessly and sort of like get speed upon them. And you probably figured that not all the tricks are sort of like purely natural.
No.
They might be able to flick it up by setting off jets underneath the skateboard that actually makes it flip at appropriate times.
Nowadays.
I am going to move just to one side on the path. I'm not going to go off the path because I hate things when people are sort of like going two abreast or anything like that, and you have to move. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to get past me, but I'm not going to give up the path, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, they sort of like come along to this point and then go with the skateboards and sort of like stop and sort of like look at you all around the park bench. Jez sort of like goes.
I just pointedly ignore them. They can see that I'm an elf as well, and I'm just going to be like, "Oh, kids."
I'll shout across over the distance. Can I help?
One of them that seems to be some kind of leader, sort of like says, "What are you doing?"
Minding my own business. What are you doing?
Well, one of the other ones says to another one, sort of like, 3 men in a park bench. They could be doing anything, couldn't they? And they sort of like laugh at you. You notice that some of them are sort of like flipping the skateboard around, and these two at the back, Billy Bob, have sort of like come up to you, and they're sort of like riding their skateboards sort of like round you in sort of like semicircles, and sort of like says, "You're big, aren't you?
You're small, ain't you?
Are you some kind of some kind of orc? Are you? Are you like an orc?
No, I'm just a giant pixie.
You're a giant pixie. We don't like the term pixie, me. That's not very nice. You shouldn't call elves pixies, you know. That's not nice to call us pixies.
I'm not a nice man.
We haven't called you anything nasty. We just
do they have any gang insignia on or anything?
And they seem to have like a circle with a skateboard on it.
They skateboarders.
No.
Are we getting any more information from Jezza?
This one next to you, Fair, says, "Like your tats."
Thanks. I like your ears.
You look super cool. You look super cool. Are you tough as well? Are you tough with those tats? Are you sort of like a tough taffy or tough tuffy or anything?
Can I switch to AR mode and see whether or not I can get a mark on his skateboard?
Yeah, by all means. This is the one who's talking to you at the present moment in time.
All right.
Mind you, I'm in combat mode, so chances are I'm not going to be able to do anything with this.
I'm going to ask these lads up here. I'm going to ask, so what gang are you from?
No. Ignore that. I didn't do my situation modifier.
Okay, I'll ignore it.
Well, hang on.
Sleaze is your maximum, so that's right. Oh no, it says that you're in hot sim.
Yeah.
Say again, sorry, Billy Bob.
So I'm going to ask these what gang they from then.
We're in the best skater gang around here. We're best skateboarders. We are. Why, old man? Old man, do you want to join us? Do you want to join us, old man?
Going to let me on your skateboard then?
No. You'd have to try to catch us if you want it. Can you run, old man? Sorry, old orc. Can you actually run? Is that something you can do? Can you run?
No, not really. Legs don't work. See.
What's wrong with your legs? Are they like sort of like cyber legs? Sorry, that roll was wrong. Are they like cyber legs? Yeah,
No, they just don't move.
You put a mark on it. You figured that these are probably device rating 1s. These skateboards. They have no other sort of form of protection. They're not panned to anything. Your legs don't move. Do not move at all.
No.
Do you have any guns? Do you have any guns? Do you have guns?
No, I can't afford a gun.
Do you have any? I bet you have a big gun, don't you? One of them takes out a little sort of like pen knife. It's actually like a like a serrated bread knife that's been taken off the handle and sort of like sandwiched between two blocks, and then a piece of string wrapped around it. I bet you don't have a knife like this, don't you? Do you have a knife like this? Do you have a knife like this, mister? Do you have a knife? I bet you don't have a knife like
That's
this.
That's not a knife. I eject my my hand blade. That's a knife.
They sort of like they sort of like take a step back and say, Mister, are you threatening us with your knife? Are you threatening us with your knife? We were only nice to you. We didn't say anything. These people here, and sort of like started to take a little bit more of an interest up at the top. You figure that the average age of this group is probably about 12, 13 as a push.
So early.
You probably think that some of them are a little bit younger than that. There might even be one of them. This one here at the back next to you, Hector, is probably about 8, if that. The guy opposite you. So we'll take that. The green skateboarder is the one that you have your mark on face. Mm-hmm. He sort of like turns to you and says, "Mate, your soldier there has pulled a knife on one of my mates. That's not very nice. We were only skating by, minding our own business, weren't we? And you've become really nasty to us."
At this point, I'm going to sort of like roll my eyes, knowing exactly, without even seeing what Billy Bob's been doing. I know exactly what he's been doing, and I'm going to say, "Come on, guys, just push off. There's plenty of park space."
I'm going to tell these two up here. Look,
why should we move?
I've killed puppies in the past.
Why? Being nasty to elves again. You're just constantly nasty to us. Why should we move? The ones down at the bottom say, "Why should we move? You should move. We were here first. This is our park. You don't even belong here. This is our park. You come over here, arty-tighty, like this, and you try to take our park
Can I control his skateboard?
It depends what you want to do with it, because you've only got one mark on it.
I would just want to make it go backwards. Does it have some type of propulsion thing on it? So rather than it going forward, I want to take it backwards, so it just takes his sort of feet away from him.
Well, so you want
he's got some type of.
So you want to make it go backwards quite quickly, then? Is that
I just want to. Yeah, I want to. Okay. I want to take the skateboard, from underneath his feet.
Okay.
Make him fall over.
Yeah, you can do that with one mark. That's not a problem.
And hopefully get it underneath that bush.
Well, hang on. Let's see what he does first. So he all of a sudden it goes shooting back, and it goes shooting off. It probably gets underneath the tree. It's a tree, but maybe not as close to that. But you can keep operating it and getting it. The other skateboarders obviously sort of like turn around to you now and say, "Why are you nicking his skateboard, mister? Hey, why are you nicking it? That's not your skateboard. That's his skateboard." He's sort of.
They know it's me.
Well, no, they're just saying it out loud to everybody. This young lad, this 12-year-old, is now prone on the ground because he failed his roll to keep stood up.
So you better go and help your mate. It looks like he's hurt himself.
These people at the top, these skateboarders at the top, Billy Bob, have started to get their skateboards come towards you, and then at the last minute, veer off. So they sort of like going, like that, and then going over the grass, and then coming back. So they actually have to have a roll to do this. So this is their roll. So they're actually quite proficient in their skateboarding. But of course, their agilities are rather low because they're young kids. So they actually have a skateboarding skill of 10, because they've been doing this for them, but their agility is only 1. So they're rolling 11 dice, but the majority of that is their skateboarding skill. And really and truly, to do what they're doing at the moment, they only need 3 hits or above, to sort of like not back, to actually swerve out the way. So here comes the first one. Yeah, that first one is absolutely fine. Right, so the first one whirls around you, and he comes towards you, and then last minute he goes shoom, like that, and sort of like ends up here. This one comes straight for you, and instead of veering at the last moment, he just goes bang, straight into you, literally straight into you, and sort of like knocks the skateboard, sort of like whacks into your legs. It doesn't do damage, but you know what it's like when something whacks into your shins. It sort of like whacks into this, and he sort of like bashes and falls over prone onto the floor there.
Can I stomp his skateboard?
You can if you wish. This guy here has got up, and just because you are the closest person to him, Faze, and that's the only reason he doesn't know that you've actually done it. He says, what you stop kicking my skateboard, mister, stop. Just because you got tats doesn't mean that you're tough or anything like that. Doesn't mean that you're tough.
It looked like you fell off it.
Yeah, it's because there was a rock. Because there was a rock in the pavement.
I'll just go 0 skill.
Yeah. Well, if you want to, you could try. This guy at the back, Billy Bob, comes whooshing towards you, and at the last minute, sort of like twirls round you and heads off onto the grass. Yeah, the other skateboarders now face are saying, yeah, give him a go, and this skateboarder here sort of like heads off into the bush, and sort of like brings the skateboard back for you, Faze, and sort of like wheels it across the pavement for you. What's your perception check for?
I was gonna see if they took anything off me.
Oh, as in nicked anything? No. Okay, got you. No, you don't think
your
anything.
Hand blade's gone.
He sort of like says, "Come on then, show us how good you are. Come on, do a triple side flip with it, 180. Come on, tap man, come on."
I mean, it can't be all that hard to do this. Okay.
Gymnastics.
Oh yeah, come on, dude.
Okay, here's the deal. We have a race.
So are you talking? Sorry, I get really confused, guys, whether or not you're talking to me or talking to them. That because I don't have your Zoom up at all.
I wouldn't say here's the deal to you.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Do you want me to do funny voices?
No, well, it's like what I said beforehand. Yeah. If you're it's up to you. You either change your voice or you say to me, Faye says, because then I know who's actually talking at that point.
Right, okay, yeah. I'll do a funny voice then.
Well, no, don't do that because
here's the deal. We have a race to the end of the park, and whoever wins gets to stay in the park.
I'm trying to think who that reminds me of. It sounds a bit like Julius. He says the skateboarders sort of like go, yeah, race, and this skateboarder here sort of like shoots his skateboard along from you. These guys over here have failed to take any interest in you, Billy Bob, and are sort of like they come down and sort of like skid to a halt. Let me check because one's going to come very close to you. Yeah, it come down and skid to a halt round and said, yeah, okay then round the park. You figure round the park will probably take about 4 rolls skill rolls to stay on the skateboard.
Right.
There's no magnetic connection or anything like that. It's just literally on it. You'll be able to probably, on the one that you probably got a mark on, you'll be able to control it and speed it up. So you will just be making the normal roll without any positive or negative modifiers on it.
So how long would it take to do the circuit in?
It's going to take only about 2 or 3 minutes to go right the way around.
Right.
But it'll be 4 skill rolls. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay, this is Space again. Okay, so here's the deal. You all wait at the park entrance, and me and him have the race. Whoever gets there first wins. The other guys have to leave the park and not come back for 24 hours.
We race here, mate. We race here to here.
No.
Why not, mate?
No,
Why
no.
not?
The deal is...
Oh, come on, Tat Man.
Park entrance.
Okay, roll
Take
your...
it or leave it. Or you chicken.
Roll your persuasion.
No one calls me a chicken.
Do you have...
What does that default onto it?
Do you have persuasion or con or anything like that?
No.
Okay, then. So let's have a look. Oh, sorry, I didn't have my book out. Whatever it is, I'm going to give you +3 to your roll.
Can I take out my machine pistol? Another couple of pluses.
Well, you can do if you wish.
I don't want to.
It'll actually default onto your charisma.
Oh, it's a high stat for me.
So it'll be charisma, but you'll have +3 dice to that roll.
So modified with 3.
Yeah.
Apply wounds. Well, I don't have any, so
No,
we can
it's
say
just-
no. Pulls it out the bag.
Do you wish? No, so he says, no, we start here and end here, but if you win, old man, then yeah, we agree. We'll leave the park for 24 hours. So they've come
How do I know you... Sorry.
They've come
How
halfway.
do I know you're going to keep your word?
We keep our word. We're the Elven Skateboarders gang. We always keep our word. And they all seem to do this weird salute when they go, yeah. Like that, as if they're
I
all...
thought you were pixies on planks.
Oh, mister, that's not nice.
Oh,
we
it's
would be really nice to you. We didn't say that your tats looked like a young baby had scribbled all over your head while you were asleep one night. We didn't say that, didn't we? We didn't say that, mister. Come on, be nice to us. Anyway, instead of calling us names, why don't you put your feet on one of those planks and see how good you are? I think you should. Come on, let's do it, mate. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm gonna just let me check out my wheels and then we'll get on to it.
Okay.
Whilst I'm turning mine round and sort of like spinning the wheels, I want to put all my attention to actually hack his, and I want to get some marks on his so I can actually control his. Or actually, no, I've already got a mark on the other one, haven't I? Can I just control these?
You could
Is it
control.
something that I can just use, or
you could do simple things, so you can stop it moving in an opposite direction or something like that. What you can't do is make it do any of the tricks. But
Right.
remember, if you are going skateboarding in AR mode, then you will have -2 to your dice rolls.
right? Okay.
And that's you can't get rid of that. So you can't say, oh, I'm running this program, because it won't help, because you're physically trying to do something that you're not used to doing. You've got to make 4 rolls.
Okay, but could I start by not being in AR mode and then go into AR mode later?
Well, you can tell me which role you want to go into AR mode for.
Right, okay.
But
I know what I'm doing.
You've actually got
I know what
4
I'm doing.
rolls.
I'm not going to get a mark on his. I've got a mark on mine, which is going to get rid of my negative, isn't it?
The negative for what?
Am I not at a negative for controlling it or something?
You're at -1 because you don't have a skateboard skill.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so it's defaulting onto your agility.
Okay. Right. Can I? So having this mark on this skateboard's not going to affect this performance at all.
On your skateboard?
Yeah.
No, but I will say that it will get rid of the -1 because you've got some control over it. So if you do find yourself about to fall off, you can actually make it speed up slightly or adjust it. So you would just be rolling double your agility, whatever that is.
Okay. Because if not, I would have just switched it over. But so when I'm checking it out, can I see whether or not I can get a mark on his skateboard?
Yes, by all means.
So I would have a mark on the one that I'm using, and then a mark on the one that
that's cool.
He's using.
That's cool. Yeah, you've got you put your little blue triangle onto his skateboard as well. So you've now got a mark on both of them.
Right. Okay. So I'm coming out of AR mode.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the skateboard on the floor. And I'm going to go, let's do this.
Right. Okay. So you've noticed that these are sort of like people are sort of like lined up. And one of them stands here. It's the young girl, and she takes a neckerchief off her neck, a little hanky.
Can I sub-vocalise to Hector whilst they're all getting prepared, and just say, get some more info from Jezza whilst this is happening?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think what we'll do is that we'll run the skateboard match.
Yeah, I know. But
and then
I'm hoping that all these are going to be too busy cheering on their pixie friend and
avoid that. Yeah. Okay, then. So this is what happens. You got 4 goes at this. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Get behind the line.
What?
Thank you. Okay, so at the before each go, you need to tell me what you're doing. So if you want to say, right, on the next
what
go...
are the options?
Well, for example, on the next go, if you want to say, I want to go into AR mode and make his card, then that's...
I want to win.
Okay, there's 3 options that you can do on your skateboard. You can just go normally, okay, which is a threshold 2. Okay, so you just need 2 successes for that.
And I'm not rolling my agility.
Double your agility.
Oh, double.
Yeah. Okay, then. If you want to get ahead of him...
Agility. Oh, that means I'm rolling 2.
If you want to get ahead of him, okay, then your threshold is 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to do any fancy tricks, like try to knock him off physically, then your threshold is 4. So it's 2, 3, and 4, whatever you want to do. Okay.
Okay. What if I want to judge what he's doing? So say, for example, if he's trying to get ahead of me and I want to keep up with him.
Yeah, well, I will tell you what he's doing each round.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So you probably can't preempt that. So at the first round, what would you like to do?
Just keep on it.
Okay.
Go like that.
Okay then. So
give it a bit of welly, but just keep on it.
Okay then. So the little girl comes out and she sort of like gets her little handkerchief ready, and then she goes, right, round the park and back here. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay then. So you just need 2 successes to head off. By yourself.
Can you just have a look on your probability table? What's the chance of me getting 2 successes on 4 dice are?
Okay, off you go.
4 dice, 2 successes. You're about.
Oh, it's a good start.
The other skateboarder, he sort of like zips off. He jumps up and he flicks his skateboard 3 times, lands on it, and he's away. He's on. Faye sort of like sets off his skateboard, and you haven't got it quite right, and it goes back, and you just fall down. Okay, off it with no successes. So you're actually off the skateboard. The skateboarders are now turning around, just like laughing at you. And just like, old man. So
I got it this time.
So
You
that
do
is
about a 40% chance there.
that is round 1. So this is round 2 coming up. So you really need to roll 3 successes in order to catch up with him. Okay.
Okay. Now how am I going to do this? Because I want to. Did you say it's double agility?
Yeah.
Is there a way to do a double roll?
Just by doing a normal roll.
Right, on the macro.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to edge it.
Okay.
Which doesn't take into account.
No. What you could do is if you roll your agility, then when it comes to situation modifiers, just add 4, add 2 to it.
It's what I add. Oh, if I do number of dice,
yeah,
it'll be because it adds on your.
Are you pre-edging it?
Yeah, so it adds on your edge, doesn't it?
Well, it just re-roll any 6s, won't it?
Yeah, no, but it adds on your edge as well onto the skill roll.
Yeah.
I think.
So just roll it.
You want to check that? I'm sure it does.
Okay, that's cool.
So I want to try to catch up from which is 3 successes.
3 successes.
Yeah. Can you not just make his board stop so he falls off?
I wish.
That'd be funny as hell. It just stops dead and you can face plants the floor.
The thing is, we'll just see about this pre-edge roll and then.
Because then you could act all concerned and run up to him and give him first aid as well and fix his broken nose. So you lose karma for making him fall off his board and break his nose, but you gain karma for fixing his nose.
It's not. Add your edge rating to your test.
Right. Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. Oh yes!
Oh.
So on, I haven't finished yet.
Yeah,
no, I have now.
Yeah. Okay, so you are now. You jump. You actually sent forth. You actually, as you're prone, you actually push your skateboard forward, and you actually run.
Am I on my stomach on it?
You actually run and jump, and as you're in the air, you flip the skateboard a few times and land on it and go shooting up. So at the end of round 2, you are actually level with him. Okay, with that fantastic roll. So you're actually level. He sort of like looks round and he's quite shocked that you're actually, next to him now. Okay, so this is round 3. What do you wish to do?
I'm just going to try to keep on it.
Okay then.
So I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to try to go anywhere. I'm just going to just keep on it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's just be 2. You just need 2 successes.
Oh, 1.
And 1. So you're still on it. You're still on it. You're still going, but you're slowing down, and he's heading off by the end of round 3. So this is round 4. So he's going to win if he stays on his skateboard for this round. He is actually going to win. So that is round 3. Okay, so this is the final round. This is round 4. So you're slowing down a bit. He's headed off. We're into round 4 now. What do you wish to do?
I'm switching to AR mode, and I'm slowing down, but I'm just going to coast. I'm not going to try to do any type of maneuver.
Okay then.
And I'm going to data spike his board.
Okay, so that would be the the rating of your
and I'm going to edge it.
So that's going to be, it's a number net successes, isn't it? Plus the I forget what it's called. It's like the force of the spell. Let me just increase this.
If this works, is it going to blow up and send it flying?
Data spike. So you do one point per net hit, and then +2 per mark. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So off you go.
Come on, baby. Oh, what?
So that's 2.
Five edge.
That's 2 points plus another 2 because you've got a mark. Or is it +1 net hit and then +2 per mark, or is it +2 per mark?
That was the worst roll ever.
It was quite. I'm asking you a question, but you're not answering.
I'm not sure.
Let's just have a look. Your attack has a damage value equal to your attack rating, with 1 additional box of damage per hit and 2 additional boxes of damage for each mark you have on the target. So,
hang on. So what's that? So my attack rating.
So what's your attack rating at the present moment in time?
My attack rating on my deck is, at the moment, is 4.
4. So you do 4 points, okay, plus 1 additional box per net hit.
So that's 6.
Plus 2 because of your mark. Yeah?
So that's 8.
8. Now, these skateboards only have 5 boxes condition. So they're not like a deck. They don't have 10 boxes. No. So that actually, all of a sudden, you notice that his skateboard literally just goes like that. And you notice that there's smoke coming from it. He tries to roll... I'm just going to roll his agility to stay on it. Yeah, he gets 1 success. So the skateboard goes like that, and there's a whole lot of smoke billowing from it. All these guys around, they goes, what on earth? And he just sort of like goes like that.
And I'll just coast past him, just going really.
And you just sort
slow.
of like go like that. His skateboard is out of it. There is no.
But then once I get over the finish line, I'm going to get off my skateboard. And you know that thing when they sort of like whack it really hard at the back and it flips up in the air and they catch it?
Yeah. You can. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it.
You can do. You can just roll double your agility. I'll let you do it for double your agility. Are you still in AR mode?
No, I'm coming off AR mode. As I just coast past him and I just look at him and smile, and then I go across the finish line, and I'm going to just get off the skateboard, whack it, and then pick it up and hand it to the person that I borrowed it from.
You're not going to flick it?
No, I am. I'm going to whack it at the back so it comes up, and then I'm going to grab it, and I'm just going to hand it to the person that...
Roll W agility.
Going past him going, oh no.
1 success, so you flick it and it comes up in the air, and you do that classic, so you sort of like go like that when it's flipping in the air, and you sort of like try to get one hand on it and it keeps flicking, but eventually you sort of like go like that, and you catch it and go like that, all sort of like cool like. And the guy that you hand it to turns around to you and says, you could be in our gang any day, mate. Any day. Like that. He doesn't hit you. He sort of like does a high five at you. And
I'll put my hand out to high five.
And they sort of like, I'd take it away just at the last minute. And they sort of like...
Then go, you snooze, you lose.
They get on their skateboards and sort of like shout at you, a deal's a deal, old tap man. See you around. And as they go past, one of the guy that doesn't have a skateboard anymore picks up his smoking skateboard and so like sort of like goes
Runs after it.
pinion on somebody else's, and they sort of like drive off out of the park. Okay, now when all that is happening, then there's.
Am I still in roll 20?
No, you've left.
Oh,
You've left. It's all right.
Sorry.
Just pop back in when you're ready. While all that is happening, you've got about 2 or 3 minutes, Hector, of questions that you can ask. So shoot.
cool. Has she had sort of like any after watching Faye's skating off with thing, I sort of like make a flippant comment going, God, some people never grow up, and I turn to Jezza and go, so back to your sister. Has she had any sort of like dodgy partners that might have sort of not, sort of like when she's broken up with them, not taking it well or anything like that?
Jessica sort of like turns to you and says, mate, I know nothing about my sister. She has her own life. She does her own thing. I really, seriously, she never talks to me. She doesn't even talk to me on social media.
Do you know if she's close with your parents? Would we be able to go and have a chat with them?
My parents? Maybe. Well, they live up north of London. You'll have some time trying to get hold of them.
What about over the comlink?
Well, you can try if you wish.
Yeah, and literally anything that can help would be really good.
Yeah, well, you might well talk to them.
Yeah, I think we would if we can, if that's all right.
Didn't seem asked about his sister being gone.
No, he doesn't. I can't think of anything else. I say over my sub-vocal mic to Billy Bob, I know FaZe is busy.
FaZe Hello?
Can you think of anything else, FaZe? No, not FaZe. Billy Bob, sorry.
Not really. It just, it doesn't. He really doesn't seem asked that is, or concerned that his sister's missing. That's all I've got.
Yeah, me too. I turn to Jez and go.
FaZe is back now. FaZe is back.
Okay.
FaZe, you hear the message over the subvocal, by the way.
Do I know the conversation? What's going on?
Yeah, you sort of like filtered it out in the background, so you know roughly what's been going on. You know key facts, and then that's it.
Can I make a memory check? And he said that he didn't even talk to her on social media. Wasn't there conversations happening? Wasn't there messages going backwards and forwards on social media between them?
Okay, make a memory check.
Two successes.
There wasn't. If you remember from social media, she actually tagged him in pictures, but called him toe rag. But if you remember, she did arrange to meet him on the day that she went missing. There was an arrangement to meet up on that day.
Okay, so I'm going to subvocalize to Hector. Oi. Try to find out where they were going to meet. We'll take it from there.
They did meet.
So, when you had your meeting, which you said you went to on the Sunday, where was it?
It was here.
In the park,
Yeah,
where we are right now.
yeah. It's where we always meet.
Okay. Did you see anyone following her, or hanging that was shady when you were having just like hanging around the park during a meeting with her?
He looks somewhat puzzled and says, "She just came along. She had a go at me. I told her what had happened, and she left. I don't, mate. I don't spend my time looking for shady people."
That's right. Was it? Was the meeting about your gambling debt and how you were sorting it?
Yeah.
How did she take it? Was she still really annoyed that you'd sorted it type thing, or was it?
No,
she was even angrier.
She was pretty pleased. She was pretty pleased that I'd used my common sense and actually done something and taken it on board and used my. Now, hang on. There was a word she used.
Gonads.
My
initiative.
Yeah, I'd used my initiative for once, and I was really growing up. And then she headed off home.
How did she know about the gambling debt? Did you tell her, or did she contact you about the meeting?
She didn't contact me about my gambling debt. I contacted her.
Why did you contact her? Just to tell her, or to ask her for help, or?
Well, I wanted her to pay some of the money off.
And she said no.
No, she came ready to do it. But when she came here, I said, not a problem. I don't need the help anymore. And she headed off back home.
Was she by herself?
Did she have a car? Or
no, she doesn't.
Did she get public transport?
She doesn't drive. She takes the tube.
Okay.
I did say to her that I was somewhat worried at that time of night, but she just went. She's a brave lass, my sister.
Obviously. Well, thank you very much. We will get in contact if we can think of any more questions, or if you think of anything that you might remember about her moods, anything that might have just you couldn't think of, please get in contact with us, because we really want to find your sister.
Yeah, he says, no worries. And he seems to head off, taking several drags of his cigarette as he heads off towards the general direction of Casper's nightclub.
So we've got nothing.
Pretty much.
You've got some things.
We know that he has potentially sorted out his gambling debt, and he told her, asking her for money. She turned up ready to pay for her money, despite the fact that, according to him, he hates her. She hates him, sorry. She was still willing to pay off some of his money, his gambling debt.
He'd already sorted it out.
But he's already sorted it out. So clearly his working for the gambling debt was probably with someone in Casper's or at Casper's, because he seems to be working there, doesn't he? So he's probably paying the debt off through working for them.
And then she headed off.
And she headed off okay, and she was going to be using the tube. Or the underground, or whatever it's called.
Which direction is the underground?
It's roughly about south from where you are, so off the bottom of the map. So if you think at the present moment in time, Casper's is probably off in this direction somewhere. Okay. You see that ping? Yeah, and then so it's almost, think of it as a triangle of Casper's, this park bench, underground station. So it would be like that. So she's probably headed off down in this direction to head towards the tube station.
There's a couple of things that don't strike me as being right. First thing is that when you originally talked to Cass, when you originally talked to Jezza, he was working in the kitchen, but he seemed to have been working there for a fair bit. He was sort of like shouting at people, saying, "Oh, it's in the steamer." So.
No. Sorry, I think you misinterpreted that. What I was saying was that he was doing pots, but there was a lot of shouting in the background. And people sort of like saying, "It's in the steamer," so because I was trying to develop the atmosphere that he was in a kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
He was a pot washer though is a sort of like a pretty low.
Yeah, exactly.
Low paid job.
Dishwasher. Yeah.
So I mean, if he's paying it off that way, he's going to be paying it off for the rest of his life.
Yeah, but
I'm not being funny. But he said he'd sorted it. And I reckon he's paying off his debt some other way.
Yeah, so he's working there, and like if they tell him, right, okay, you need to do this, break into Hungry like a wolf or something.
Can I just remind you that your mission objective is not to work out what Jezza is doing. It's to find Margot.
Okay, so I think we've got two things that we can do. I think the first thing that we do is retrace the steps. So from here now, we head to the subway station, see whether or not there's anything happening there, see whether or not we can question anybody who's there, who was maybe working on that night, find out whether or not she was saw. Might even be able to get some info from cameras. Failing that, I say we go back after these pixie people and see whether or not they were in the park at that time. Thoughts?
Sounds good.
Let's go.
So like we will head off down towards the down the path towards the tube station. Looking whilst we're doing that, looking out to see if I can see any signs of a body maybe hidden in the park. But you never know.
Yeah, is there a body underneath one of the trees?
You never know. You might get lucky. There might be a body in the bin.
Okay, so this, you have been here before because this is the local tube station for Southside. If you remember, you picked up the one of your contacts at this point and brought sort of like
Datapad.
Yeah, you Datapad and Mr. Credit. So you're quite familiar with this tube station. There's several things that you could think about while you're here. There is phase just down here, just so you know. Can you see here?
Yes, I can see that now.
So this is the computer section. So there is obviously some kind of host operating within this within the network of the tube stations. So there might be an option there to do. The other thing you could do is try to interrogate, or rather than interrogate, try to ask, any of the guards who are around, or sorry, not guards. I was thinking about trains, employers or employees, and try to see whether or not they know anything. The important thing is when it is the sort of questions you ask. So can you see when FaZe challenged them for role? For that, for that battle, skateboard battle, that was obviously some kind of persuasion or con roll at that point, And from the question, it was easy to see that it was some kind of persuasion roll that was needed. So if you're going to try to persuade the guards or intimidate, I think Billy Bob, you have intimidate, then make sure you're phasing the questions in such a way that it's obviously leading to some kind of persuasion. There is a host here that you can hack into, FaZe, if you wish, and you could actually go back out to Rusty, Rosie and Hot Sim from in there if you wish. Whether or not you want Billy Bob to stay with you at that point, it's up to you.
I was thinking of just using the John.
Yeah.
Are these Johns down here?
There's benches here.
Yeah. That's the male toilet there, and the female toilet.
Hang on. I can't see. Oh, right. Yeah.
That's the female.
I'm thinking of just.
So there's.
Can I make a memory world again? Whereabouts did these dogs come from last time?
Oh yes, yeah. Make a memory check, and I'll tell you.
Oh, what? Can I save that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was quite obvious. Can you see the track here? So the train literally goes this way out the station, and the dog came from that direction into the station. And if you remember, it picked somebody up and dragged them away.
So I take it it's not very busy at the moment. Is it before rush hour? Like?
Well, if you remember, you met Jezza about 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to get busier and busier now, because now people have started to commute and to sort of like start to come backwards and forwards. So especially in the top side or south side, in that middle class place, those are the people who really would like a posh apartment but really can't afford it in London, so they're living there, so they're going to start commuting. So there's going to be a lot of people around. Remember, it was quite late at night when Margot met Jezza. Okay,
was it about 10:30?
Correct, it was. Yeah. So but you might assume if you actually want to try to con the guards, or if you want to try to do some matrix hacking, then busy is probably good for you, because you're going to be able to hide what you want to do.
Okay. When I get that, I'd like to try and find a ticket person or somebody an employee that's clearly marked as an employee of the tube station, and I'd like to go up to them and ask them a few questions.
Okay. Billy Bob.
I'm going to sub-vocalize and say, I'm off to the John.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head with Hector. Give him some backup.
Okay.
Was there any when I'm heading over there, I want to be in AR mode. Is there any cameras up and about?
Yeah, there are cameras, wireless cameras up and running. They seem to be filming or taking in the major areas. So one's taking in the stairs here. There's two taking in the track, mainly looking for jumpers, because they like to prosecute. If anybody just sort of like jumps off onto the track, then they like to prosecute them, because they're actually stopping the train system. So they like to see who it is, find out who their parents are or their closest relatives, and charge them for making a mess of the underground. They're not particularly bothered about who jumps on it or anything like that. It's more sort of like a money basis. Over this side where you are, apart from the platform here, there's no sort of like major cameras. So there's only like 3 cameras, 1 covering the entrance, 2 or 3 covering the track and on the platform, and then that's about it. Those cameras are not wireless, because they're actually within a host. So they're actually communicating within a host. So you'll either have to jack into the host or directly jack into something. So there's nothing actually wireless happening.
Okay. As I'm heading over to the John, I'm going to take an RFID tag and attach one of my cameras to it, and make sure that it's wireless enabled. And then going into the area, I'm going to wait until there's sort of like nobody, and I'm going to stick it up on the wall, probably there, just to give me a view of the entrance.
So there, just to let you know, the cubicles do have doors on them. It's not like some kind of foreign French country where there's no doors on anything. There is a door there. You can actually see it. It's in yellow, I think.
What is the door?
Yeah, it's very very faint. You
Oh,
could probably,
right.
can you see
Okay.
this one better? And this one?
Oh yes, I can see that. Can I
Yeah.
see the other one? I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
Sorry.
saying. It is there, but it's more like a cubicle door, so people can look over and in. It's not like an opening and shut door.
Right. How does it lock?
It's just like one of those bolt locks. It's the underground.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Right.
you
okay.
probably it's probably wise to keep a foot against it as well.
Right.
You know, to keep it shut. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a guard. There's an employee. Sort of like checking tickets. Actually, here.
Okay, is that the first one I see?
Yeah, that's the first one you see. So, all up here. This is like a cafe place, like Costa, and this is sort of like a Costa area. So there's a whole load of people coming past him, and he sort of like stood. Let me put him in for you. He sort of like stood here with a scanner. And what he's doing, he's just scanning sins as they go past. So they obviously must have some kind of travel card attached to it. And so as people, it's probably better to stand like that. So the flow of people can actually still go through because it's getting to rush hour. So he's busy scanning them and sort of like going click, 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 click as people go by.
Okay. As I go up to him, I want to. I go, hello. Good morning. Well, good morning. I was hoping you could help me. I'm looking for someone who has gone missing. So it was like last Sunday, and I was wondering if either you were working or somebody that's not working now was working at that time.
Okay, you seem to just be talking to him, and he's sort of like going click, 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 and so like as these people are filing past, and he just says, only working mornings. I only walk mornings. Come along, hey, you. He says, back, go and get your ticket. Go and get your ticket scanned. And sort of like this teenage lad, sort of like with headphones on, sort of like skulks back out the way, and sort of like business. There's a few people walking past Billy Bob, sort of like looking at you. You know, there seems to be this area at this time of the morning. It's not sort of like a ganger area at the present moment of time. It's almost like people are in their suits going off to work. And they're sort of like walking by. You hear women in high heel shoes go as they walk past. Back to the toilet.
So once I'm in, I'm going to shut the door. I don't suppose there's anything on the floor, like a bit of stick or anything that I could stick underneath the bit that pulls out to stop it.
There's something on the floor. It's some kind of liquid.
No, I'm not going to pick that up though. I don't.
No, it's some kind of liquid. It looks sort of like somebody hasn't had enough water and they sort of like missed it. But you could probably pull some sort of like wiping towel out and sort of like jam it in there if you wish.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just for a bit of added protection. But anyway, once the door's closed and it's the little bars across, I'm going to put the toilet seat down and I'm going to sit on it, and then I'm going to make myself comfortable and go into VR mode.
Okay, so you're going hot sim or cold sim?
I am going hot sim.
Okay, so as soon as you're going to hot sim,
shaka.
as your body transfers into the matrix, you see that there's obviously a host for this this area. It seems to be a bit like the front of a railway station, an old-fashioned railway station. So there's almost like a platform, and it's almost like the reverse. So you're almost like on the platform going into the host, and there's a turnstile entering into the host, which you assume is actually the host entry point. Okay. So back to Hector. Billy Bob, just jump in if you want to say something. Yeah, go for it.
Is there a manager I can speak to, or somebody else who is working on this shift that works those evenings?
He just points, when you say manager, he points to this office here. Can you see it? I'm pinging it. Yeah, he just sort of like points to there.
I nod and say thank you, and I will make my way over there.
Cool.
Both gracias. See you later.
Cool.
When I get there, is it a closed door or an open door?
Both doors, although the one on the south side looks as if it's open, both of them are actually closed.
Is there?
There's one of those annoying signs on the front that says staff only. You know that not staff, employees only, on the door.
Is there a buzzer or a doorbell, or do I just do the old-fashioned?
It's the old-fashioned knock. Yeah, so you sort of like wait around for 10 minutes, and then after 10 minutes, sort of like a rather largest lady who has grey straggling hair, and her uniform probably fitted about 15 years ago. And she's obviously not changed her uniform since there, despite putting on several pounds. And she's still got it fastened underneath her bust. And she's got a cap on that has this sort of like grey, almost like hag-like hair coming out from underneath it. The door opens a bit, and there's this sort of like woof of cigarette smoke, or false cigarette smoke coming out. You probably think that this is often a health hazard, and she just sort of like looks at you both and sort of like says, "What do you want? Who are you? Who are you?"
Hello, my name's Hector. I'm actually looking for a missing woman, and I get out my picture and I ping her the picture of Margot. So she would have passed through here last Sunday night about 10:30. I was wondering if you or any of your employees had seen her. We're just trying to trace her whereabouts.
She sort of like looks at the picture and she says, "Nice looker." And then she goes, "No, not seen her. Sorry."
What about, I see your chap there was scanning Sims. Would you be able to look through the records to see if she actually did make it through?
Who exactly are you?
As I said, my name's Hector. I've been employed by her boss to, and then I named whatever it is, law company.
So are you like a law enforcer then?
Dicks.
I'm a private investigator.
Okay then. So you are trying to pose as a private investigator, yeah? So yes. she the first thing she's you can make your con roll in a second, and the next thing she's going to do is ask for your SIN to scan it for your identifications. But roll your con roll first. Okay, back to phase.
So once in VR mode, the first thing I want to do is to change my icon.
Yeah.
And can I make it look like sort of like a one of the old-fashioned ticket collector guard people? I'll probably end up looking like the fat controller when it comes out, but I want to change my icon so it blends in more with the actual host.
Cool.
And then I'm going to saunter up into the turnstile, and I'm going to materialize in my hand like a ticket to pop in, but it's actually my hack on the fly program. So I'm just going to put it in, and then if it takes effect, I'm then going to control the device. I'm just going to pop it in just to see whether or not I can hack on the fly.
Okay,
first.
go for it. Roll your hack on the fly.
Five successes.
Yeah.
I can't get any better than that.
No, and you sort of like put your little ticket in, and you push against the turnstile, and it clicks, and you can walk into the host dressed up as the Fat Controller. You're actually in a host that seems to be, it's a bit like watching miniature railway, little miniature trains going around. So you figured that each of the trains that you can see going around the track are actually real life tube trains, and they're sort of like going around and sort of like coming around this way and another. And you can also see that over on one side there's a series of television screens and put on desks, you know, a bit like the arrival and departure, and there's a whole load of data and pictures sort of like going up and down on that. So I just need to drag on to this. You're watching.
Don't be dragging any ice on.
No, I'm trying to find your Overwatch score. That's what I'm trying to find.
I think it's -4.
There it is. Oh no, I can't remember how to.
Oh, can I have some more information about the actual host with my successes that I got on the?
Yeah, what information do you want?
What's the rating of it?
The rating is 4.
4.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Well, what's the firewall? 7.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got one. You've got 2 more pieces of information. Sorry, no, that's it. That's your information because you've only got 5. So you only got one above the host rating. So, okay. So back to.
I'm just going to start heading over towards these computer screens.
Yeah, cool. So the first thing that they do is scan your SIN to check that you actually are a private investigator, Hector. What SIN are you actually holding at the moment? What's your SIN set? Is it a fake one to say private investigator?
Yeah, it's my Hector one, my fake Hector one. Yeah.
Okay, and is your job down in that one as a private investigator? Is that what it's set up for?
He told me that it was set up as performing clown.
I didn't.
Oh, I thought it was performing monkey.
I didn't actually hear that at all. By the way, you went. So yeah, so you went all robotic. Yeah,
jobs and stuff in.
Well, no. So basically, your fake SIN just says Hector, that's all it says. Yeah. So it doesn't sort of like say that you're a private investigator or anything like that. So, but you got quite a few successes. So you need to correct that for the next adventure, because they will always scan your SIN, because that's the way that the way. It's a bit like if a policeman came in this era, what would be the first thing you asked for? His identification. So that was it. She sort of like looks at Billy Bob and says, "Who's he?"
I say he's my apprentice. He's learning the trade, if you know what I mean.
She sort of like looks at him and sort of like says,
"It's only his first day on his job. He doesn't know what he's doing."
She sort of like says, "Well, you can come in because I like the look of you, but he better stay outside."
That's right. I tend to Billy Bob and I nod and I walk.
So you went all.
She's invited me.
You went all roboty then, again, but it's all right. You're back now. Oh, it's arrived. Oh yeah. So hang on. Let me just choose side. Let's increase your Overwatch score so we have it.
Don't let me know what it is.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says 2.
Okay, you can't see it now.
It says 4 now.
I was just moving it up to 8.
All right.
Okay then. So back to Phase.
Okay, so these computer screens, I want to find out which one it probably has the camera information on.
Yeah, so there's one. It's sort of like stores. Tickets. One of them is all about tickets, i.e. when people get on and off the train. Another one's all about trains, arrival times, and it's sort of like the information that would be required by government to check that everything's going correct. And then another one is all about cameras, and it seems to have cameras for every sort of like tube station. So all it's going to take you is a matrix search in order to roll the cameras back. So you probably do something like put your finger on and sort of like roll it back a few weeks to actually see it. You do notice this while you're in here, Faze. You do notice that there's sort of like some ticket guards that are sort of like walking around the place, and they don't seem to have any scanners on them, but you can see that round their necks they have big silver whistles, and they've got their hands behind their backs, and they're just sort of like walking backwards.
But with me looking like the fat controller, they're just ignoring me. For the time being.
They can't see that you've done anything illegal. The
matrix search, did you say?
Yeah, to find the correct date. So the woman, Hector, takes you over to this computer there and she says, help yourself. She says that's all the information from the cameras for the past week. She says, go for it.
I say thank you very much.
Okay. Faze, you find the right week and can start either looking at it or downloading it. Yes, Hector, what would you like to do? Sorry.
Can I say on my subvocal mic would Faze be able to hear me in whatever state is in, or is he like full on flat out?
He's full on flat out at the moment.
Okay, never mind then.
Faze, you would have announced to the rest of the group probably that you were going into hot sim.
I said I was going to John.
Yeah, and then that would be it. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will.
You can search for it. You can start searching through the thing.
I'll start searching for that, but at the same time, sort of like be trying to talk to the manager woman in there, and just sort of like be like, I would really appreciate it if I could talk to someone who was working here on that night, if that's okay.
She sort of like comes across and she does this with your cheek, and she says, "This is because you got 8." She says, "Just for you, mate." She says, "I'll go and find somebody."
Thank you very much.
So you need to roll your computer skill. So it'd be computer plus logic.
Does it default onto something?
No, needs
armed combat pistols.
Yes.
It defaults onto logic, so you just roll your logic. Okay, so Faze, you found the date.
Okay, so I don't want to download it. I want to view it, and I want to start off with the camera at the entrance. Going from I'm going to go from 10:30, and I'm looking for her coming in. I know what she looks like because we've got pictures, haven't we? So I'm just going to look for her coming in.
Okay, so Hector, you sort of like start searching through the computer reel. So with one success, you're going to find it eventually, but it's going to take quite a while for you to sort of like wind it through. And so you're sort of like carefully going back and you're looking through the date, and every now and again you sort of like get you can't figure out how to move the camera to do it forwards and backwards, and every now and again you get the window goes wrong and you sort of like have to start again. So it's taking you some time to actually find it. Faze, you can instantly find it, and you notice that she comes down those steps that you've seen before. That's where you see her coming in. She seems to be looking behind her a lot, and glancing behind her as she comes in. As she comes into the station, you see that she's very nervous. There's no train there. And then you notice that these sort of like gang members appear, and you notice straight away that you can see on them that a lot of them have the Firebird brand on them, and they're sort of like coming down, and they sort of like jeer at her, etc. And you suddenly notice that she actually heads off. If you're at the top of the map, she heads off down these tracks, running.
Where the dogs came from?
Yeah. She sort of like sees that there's no way out and these gang members are coming for her. And so, there's no train. So she heads off down here. The gang members sort of like get to this point, and they sort of like talk to each other. And they sort of like look up and they see the cameras there, and they just turn around and walk out again. Hector, while you're sort of like flicking through the things, all of a sudden the woman comes back, and she sort of like looks over your shoulder. She gets very close to you, and there's almost like that smell of sweat and tobacco sort of like emanating from her armpits and everything like that. And she gets very close. She's sort of like really close to your head, as if almost like your skin's touching each other. And she sort of says, "Damn things, those computers." And she sort of like hands you a really tiny slip of paper that says, it has a name on it. It says Jim, and then you think it says Brown, or it could say Brown, or it could say Brawn. You're not too sure. And there's a comlink underneath it, and she's sort of like a comlink number, and she says he was working that night. And then she sort of like looks at you, and she says, "Doing anything later on?" She says, "I am a single woman."
I say thank you very much for this.
You should have said I'm not surprised.
I say thank you very much for this, and I put it in, and I make a point of putting it in my pocket. And I say, unfortunately, I'm actually seeing someone.
But, I see.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You know, we're an open-minded now in 2076. You know, you elves and orcs can get it off any time they want. You know, I totally understand. Understand.
I make the connection that she's talking about Billy Bob, but I just don't say anything because I think it's just going to not go anywhere. That's going to take like any time to resolve. Yeah. Have I seen anything yet on my version of?
No, you're still the thing is to actually see this. You're going to need a lot more successes than one.
Okay.
You know,
is this a northbound train line?
Yeah, this is heading into this is heading into towards the middle of South Side. So this tube station, this tube would have taken Margot home, but these other,
where I am in the house at the moment with these other trains that are going round, those are actually trains that are travelling.
Yes, yeah. Right. So, for example, if you wanted to crash a train, you could just go up to one and almost like control device on it and grab it, and that would actually crash the train.
What I'm actually wanting to do, I'm wanting to either put a fault on the line or to stop one of the trains that is heading in the direction down that tunnel before the tunnel, so that we can actually go down the tunnel without being hit by a train. So I want to cause some type of fault on the line so that the actual service down that tunnel stops.
So what you would have to do is, first of all, you would have to do a hacking roll, I think. So you would have to do what was it, hacking plus your logic skill, or whatever it sort of like cascades down onto.
Hacking plus logic is hacking plus logic. Would I get my extra dice for being in hot sim?
Yeah, not logic. Well, logic or intuition, it's up to you, whichever one you would like to
I don't think it makes much difference to...
Okay, then. Cool.
Well, hacking or... I mean, logic, I've got 5, which... I mean, logic is the skill that's actually tied to hacking.
Okay.
So if I do hacking and logic, would I get my modifiers for being in hot sim?
Yes, you always get those.
Which is +2, isn't it?
Yeah. You always get those no matter what.
Oh, nothing's come up. Did anything come up on yours?
No.
Hang on then. Hacking like 11, 12, 13.
That's how it worked.
What's it tied to? What part of my deck array?
Attack.
Attack?
Yeah, because you're doing are you sleazing it? Sleazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, am I getting a mark on it first, or...?
No, you don't need to put a mark because there's no actual. Right. It's not like a database.
I think I would have to sleaze it rather than attack it. So I mean, my limit's 5 on that.
So 5 successes. Yeah. So that's fine. I got successes that were less than that. Oh, that's just come up.
Wow. Delayed reaction.
That's just come up at 6 successes. Mental limit.
Well, it would go down to 5 anyway. So
yeah. So 5 successes. So you managed to put a warning on this light, and Billy Bob and Hector usually notice that people burst into action in this room, and they sort of like she sort of like comes over and she says, "Sorry, Hector, can you move? I need. We've got a problem on the line."
I say, of course, and I stand up and get out of the way, but I make no movement to leave the control room. But I make sure that I'm standing out the way of everyone.
Right. Okay. Then you
unless she tells me to get out, in which case
she sort of like meant leave now. You know.
Leave. Yeah. In that case, I say just thank you for your help.
And
I turn
and as you pass, she says. No, she says, thank you. And you feel a bit of a squeeze in a rather personal area as you go by. And she just sort of like turns to you. You hear her sit down next to a rather young looking woman who's busy typing. And she sort of like looks over to that young woman. She just says, lucky orc. This as you sort of like depart.
I ignore all of this and just walk out and go to and say to Billy Bob, I've shown him a piece of paper with the phone number and just say, this is all I got.
Okay.
Come on then, lover.
As you say that, Billy Bob, a lot of people on the platform sort of like look around, and you hear an old woman sort of like says, takes all sorts in this day and age, I tell you. If it wasn't for this bionic hip I had, you know, I would be having an orc now and again, I tell you.
I'm going to
I turn and wink at the old lady out of the corner of my eye, just like.
I'm going to switch out of AR mode.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch into AR mode, and then I'm going to log out. And I'm going to press the reboot on my deck and reboot it. That error will still be okay with me rebooting it, won't it? I've set that up.
Yeah, it's set up now until they find the error and reset it. So I wouldn't waste any time now.
No. So I'm going to come out the door. I'm going to grab my RFID tag and the camera, stick that in my pocket, just quickly put my hands underneath the taps and the water and just get them quick clean, and then I'm going to head out. And as I'm going out, I'm going to sub-vocalize to Billy Bob and Hector and tell them that I'm just going to say, she headed down the tracks, we're going to head that way. And I'm going to...
What way?
Which way? Which end of the tracks?
And then as I come round, I'm going to head here.
Okay.
Did you move me back?
I moved you there, yeah.
All right, sorry.
As soon as I see FaZe, I'm going to follow along.
Yeah, same.
Through the crowdy people of crowds.
How many people is there around? I mean,
Well, there's quite a lot of people now, because it's almost like there's no train moving, so everybody's sort of like piling up and piling back, and there's a lot of muttering. So you can probably get in here without being seen. But if anybody wanted to do a sneak roll, then
I would indeed.
Then
I would
indeed
love to do a
then that
sneak
would
roll.
actually guarantee, whether or not you were actually seen. And then we'll do these sneak rolls, and then what we'll do then, we'll take a quick 5-minute break at that point.
Is there any modifier because of the amount of people that are about or anything?
Yes, there is. There's there's
Sorry.
plus 4 to your dice roll, because it's quite easy to do it.
I got 3.
3 and 4. Billy Bob, do you have a sneak roll?
I'll have a look.
No, I don't think you do.
No, I don't know.
No. So FaZe and Hector, you sort of like creep out the way, and Billy Bob walks past somebody and bashes into them and says, "Oh, sorry, just go down there." And sort of like
I was going to say, does Billy Bob respect me as a leader yet? Because otherwise I could lead him to...
You can make a leadership role anytime you wish, because that's like a
to show him
command.
how to do it.
But then, well, no, you have to make a command roll first, don't you, to actually ensure that you are a leader. And then, but once that's done, if you fail it at any point, then that is it. You can never do it again. Hang on, because I actually put it. I actually wrote out somewhere, but I forget where it is. I actually wrote it all out, so I knew what it is. Anyway, what instruction? Is it instruction that I put it? I'll find it and then check it up. So guys, we'll take a quick 5-minute break there. So we will be back at just gone 9 o'clock. So we will be back shortly. So please don't go away and come back and see what happens down the underground tunnel. Okay, see you later. Oh, you can get food if you wish. Okay, we are back. Let me just set the other scene up. So so we are heading off into the underground tunnel. That's where you're off, aren't you? To sort of like go through it to see what you can find. Yeah. The tunnel's wide enough for 2 trains to go backwards and forwards in. So shortly ahead of this part, another track joins it from the other side. So imagine that there's 2 tracks that come into the station, 2 separate tracks. So they run adjacent to each other. Then they split off, going to different platforms, and then they come back together. And then there is a gap between the end of that track and the wall. So you can actually go down the side of the track against the wall. The only thing that you would have to do is make sure that you're flat up against the wall if a train comes. You're actually on the track that Phase has blocked on the Matrix. So but the other one hasn't been blocked. So there could still be tubes coming down that one. Yes. Yes. No. Correct. Yes, Hector. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Hector, you were going to say something. Is this... Well, two things. Do you have any sort of like... I'm just checking what sort of like knowledge skills you sort of like have. Is there anything that would... No. I mean, you assume that there probably is maintenance access down here, but how often and where it is, or like FaZe says, I mean, when you bring it up and say, Hector almost like says, maybe there's maintenance tunnels, and FaZe says sort of like, well, I thought they did it by drones now. So you're not too sure, but there might be some, so you can look out for those as well, if you wish. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so... Okay. No. Do you all have low light eyes? Yeah, and Billy Bob, do you have low light eyes as well? Yeah, excellent. So you sort of like your low light eyes flick in. It's probably wise to keep your thermographics off at the present moment in time, because if a train does come the other way, there'll be quite a lot of heat emanating from it. So it's probably a good idea to keep those off. Could you make perception rolls for me, please? And these perception rolls, you need to adjust it with a modifier, because they're going to be at -3. Because you're not familiar with this terrain at all. That's because you haven't accounted for your pain resist. Your wound penalty... Yeah. Yeah. So so what actually you start heading along this, and you sort of like keep, and about 3 or 4 minutes down the tube, down the tunnel, you sort of like flatten yourself against the walls as a train goes the other way, but that's going into London, so it's not bothering you, because this is going out. This is going out towards South Side, and as you continue, you do notice almost like a maintenance hatch. But what is more peculiar is what is almost like 3 or 4 meters down from that maintenance hatch, because there seems to be almost a carved out entrance. It looks like it was probably once a hole, but it's been widened and widened and widened, so it's quite big now. And yeah, going off. So as you're stood now, imagine that it's actually going off like that. It's actually underground, and it slopes downwards, almost like away from the track. So if this track flooded, it's not going to flood, but just to give you an indication, the water would flow down this, and it's you can see down there's no light coming from it, or anything like that. It just seems to be some kind of higgledy-piggledy cavern, like a tunnel. It's very roughly cut, and it looks like it's been widened over and over and over again. Yeah, no, the maintenance door is open as well. It's not locked at all. So Billy Bob, you sort of like you open the maintenance hatch. It opens outwards, and you go in, and it seems to be a corridor that goes for some like a metal tube, like corridor that goes for a certain distance, like about 10-12 meters, and then there's a set of ladders that goes vertically upwards. Yeah. This is actually lit. It's actually lit for maintenance purposes. Yeah, I presume you've all gone down one after another. Well, it's probably not going out onto the real world. You can see it goes up for a certain distance, and then it actually, there's no manhole cover there. It obviously meets another horizontal tunnel that you think probably goes up and then probably turns left and right and goes to various generators or supply depots for employees to get equipment. You probably think that after that there's probably another entrance. It probably comes back into the station somewhere, or goes up to another hatch on the up on the top, the street level. Yeah, roll your perception. Yeah. Okay then. So there doesn't seem to be any cameras watching at all. It wouldn't be worth putting cameras down here. Only maintenance people come down here. Billy Bob actually has limited English, doesn't he? I think you have Orc that's quite high, but then you have English that is quite... No, it's on your character. I saw it on your character sheet. Yeah, so your Orc is your native language, so you naturally speak Orc. But so English is almost like your second language. So when you're communicating to the... Yeah, so Billy Bob would literally have no idea what the word phalanges means, and he's all like, yeah, okay, or yeah. So okay, so did I put your characters on here? Yeah, so this is the corridor or the tunnel, and it's cut out of the natural surrounding area, and it looks like it's been worn down quite a lot recently. It's actually been, you looking at the side, could you make anything like survival rolls? Does anybody have anything like that? Yeah, tracking's a good one. Let's do some... Oh, is it specialised? Is your tracking specialised? Okay, then. Roll it with... Yeah. So it's your tracking is likely to be set up for sort of like up top. It's not likely to be sort of like underground tracking. So next time I'll give you, for underground, I'll give you like -2 to your roll, but I'm fine at the moment. Yeah. So so you figure there's both human and animal track going both ways. It looks what's okay then, so just yeah, so just roll your just roll double your logic then. You figure, Chuckawugga, that there's Faye sort of like looks at the sides, and all you can tell is that there's been sort of like some kind of digging. It's not natural. It's definitely been... It's actually been dug in some way. You don't think it's not a natural tunnel, and it could be in a machine, but it's definitely been purposefully dug, and it actually goes off beyond the level of your sight, going on a gentle slope down. Can anybody a sense? No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What about Hector and Billy Bob? Is this your Beretta, Billy Bob? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. No. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not pitch black down here because there's obviously some kind of your low light vision sort of like clicks in, and you notice that the tunnel just keeps going and going and going, and it's after a while going down this tunnel, you obviously notice that there's some kind of glow coming from the other end of it, and it seems to be more, it's either real life torches, i.e. flickery flamey torches, or it's good things that are bought to be a flickery torch, you know, like those old-fashioned fires that you can get that have those flickers. It's either real flickery torches or torches like that. The other thing is, can you just make perception rolls, please? And if anybody has got enhanced hearing, then you don't need to take anything off. If you don't, then make sure you do it at -2, please. Okay. Okay, when you get you both hear almost like a chanting. There seems to be almost like strange words coming down and echoing down towards you. It sounds very rhythmic, and it sounds as if it's been echoed. So it sounds as if somebody's saying something, then somebody's repeating it. Somebody's saying something, somebody's repeating it. It's not. Hang on, let me just check your languages. You've just got English? Yeah. Does everybody just have English? Yeah, I know that. No, nobody can understand it. It sounds very close to Orcish. It's almost like got those guttural sounds in them. There's a lot of sort of like throat noises, but it's definitely Billy Bob. You know that it's not actually Orcish at all. That was part of your perception roll. Can I just remind you guys that a lot of the time there is a threshold. So you might actually get a success, but that doesn't mean that you get the answers. It might say a threshold of 2 gives you this idea, a threshold of 3 gives you these, 4 gives you that. Okay, so it's a bit like Phase on the skateboard. He had to get 2 successes to stay on it, you know, no matter what. So just because you get a success doesn't mean that you get the answer. I've got a table with all the levels worked out on it. Okay, well, as you come down and down and down, it almost like comes to a ledge. Yeah, so your tunnel comes out to a ledge, and it sort of like opens out into what appears to be a big cavern. Okay, I'll just put you on it so you can actually see it. So it enters into here onto this sort of like platform. So there's enough room for you to sort of like hide up there. And this is the scene that you see before you. If you look at your marking, you can your ruler, you can see that it's quite big. So these actual cultists here are about 54 foot away from you. So feet. So I need to change it, don't I? I'm in the wrong game. Right, it should be right now. Is it right? Yeah, so like 10 meters away. Yeah. So it's quite a big place, and you can see just here. Can you see this person here? Oh, sorry. Hang on. I'm on the wrong map. Can you see this one? Yeah. So he's the one that's actually doing the initial sound, and everybody else is replying to him. And yeah, he's on a raised platform, and these people here all appear to be turned round, sort of like they seem to be dressed in some kind of robes. So from where you are, FaZe, you can just see their heads. You have no idea what weapons they're carrying or anything like that. It's all underneath. But one thing that you can see is that over here, tied up to what appears to be a stake, yeah, that, as you can recognize from your picture, that is a rather beaten and rather tragic looking Margot tied up. The other thing that you see, just out of interest, is that, can you see where this fire is here? Okay, that's not actually a fire. It seems to be a disturbance in the soil. And it seems to be rippling like this as the cultists sort of like are chanting. It's yes, the whole ground. No, yeah, it's just sort of like correct. Yeah. No, it looks like these that you can see here seem to look like little alcoves, as if you would be waiting in, and the wall actually stops down here. That's actually the brick wall. They definitely look. They look human size. Yeah. No. Okay. Yes. And you can see that this place here is wobbling more and more and more. Yeah, you can see, just so you know, that the cultists have what appear to be Browning high powers underneath the wall, underneath their robes, and they also that's all they have. And they don't seem to have. You also notice that in some of these alcoves, there appears to be comlinks, as if they've almost like been taken off and left there. And hang on, and the other thing, just let me just make sure I've got anything, because I don't want to have any surprises. Yeah, the guy in the middle, the guy at the top, is carrying Fichetti's Security 600 pistol. Are you heading back? No, it's not. It's not a huge distance. You can just drop it. It'll just take some of your action to actually go down it. So some of your meters. So it's about a meter drop. So if you, yeah, even between the time of you arriving and Hector moving down, even through the time of you doing all your AR stuff, it's got faster and faster and faster and faster. It almost like seems quite as if something quite imminent is about to happen. Okay, so Hector gets down there and shouts out what's going on here now, and as your shot fires off. Aim. Okay, so all of us. So okay, that's fine. You'll still have that modifier in the next shot. So all of a sudden, Hector says, "What's going on here, lad?" And all of a sudden, the chanting stops, and everybody sort of like turns round to see what is happening. We are going into initiative now. No, yeah. Okay, roll initiatives, please. I've just got to get everybody, all the cultists on, because there's quite a few cultists now. I think you can actually add your token. Can you if you go on to, you can't click on your token. Okay, can you add your own? Can you go to it says turn order? Can you actually go onto there and press the blue thing and then add turn? The blue. Okay, so I can do it. Okay, so if you click on your click on your character, is there an option to add turn? Up at the top? It might be, I'm just moving you because it's slightly off. Is it not one up at the top? No, it's all right. I can do it. There you go. Yeah, so yeah, you should be able to. And that's Billy Bob's in now. So Billy Bob can add his, because he won't be able to do his initiative. Right. So these are my guys. What was your initiative? 16. Cool. I can do it, don't worry. And this is cultist 3. And this is cultist 4. Oh, this is going to be massive. Hang on, cultist 4 didn't roll. Let me just roll here. No, I can just. He got 8. That's all right. I can. It's only because you should have their nameplates are showing. Hang on. Can you? Yeah. So it's just because they. I know, that's what I was saying. Can you see them all now? And then this, yeah. His. Can you see it now? Yeah. Cool. And then this is his. Right. So, sorry, Billy Bob, what was yours? Thank you. Okay. So let's descending order. So here we go. We're off. So Hector, you are up first on 17. No, this is now a new round. This is a new round. So the only person that it carries over for is FaZe, because yours carries over because aiming can carry over from one round to another round. How far is that? So what's your movement? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool. Off you go. So he gets 3, so that means that you're up to 8p. I thought you had a taser out. No, you haven't. Well, it doesn't matter. I just need to know what your DV is. So that's the same. So yeah. So this is his stun, his armor penetration. So this is his 8S roll. So he absorbs one of them. So is this cultist 3? Yeah. So that'll take it down to 3, and so 8. So that'll be 7, won't it? Yep. And that's, you're doing stun, aren't you? Yeah, stun. That's cool. Okay, he's down to he's dropped down to 3 now, as you can see, because that's his -5 off his initiative, so he'll just have +1. Okay then, and Billy Bob, you are up next. The other entrance, you weren't near this entrance because FaZe told you all to stop and actually went... Yeah. Yeah. So that would be 16. That's up on 16. So this is cultist number 1. So he's now firing at you, Hector, since you are the nearest target. And he doesn't know that FaZe or Billy Bob are there yet because he hasn't seen the thing. So this is his... now you'll have +2 to your dodge roll because you've got cover. So he's got 4 successes. Yeah, so that'll miss you. That'll miss you. Cult leader, he actually seems to do something. He seems to trace something in the air on his round, and that's him done. Cultist 2, which I think is still in... Is that in medium range now? Yeah. Browning high power. Is this 2? Yeah, okay, -1 then for cultist 2. This is his so situation -1. 3 success. Now remember, if you're dodging, you're just dodging normally now. You don't get the +2 cover because you've also got -2 because you're dodging for the second time. So that's two successes that's coming through. So that's going to be 10p when it hits you. So you need to roll your soak. Your soak, and you're at -1. Two, so that'd take it down to 8 physical boxes that you need to take. What's your physical limit? -1 on your... Is that overflown? Yeah. What's your physical limit? 5. So you're also... Yeah, you're down and out on the thing. FaZe, you are up. Get what? Sorry, I didn't even understand that. Get what? Sorry. I'll get Margot. Okay, so if you're going to fire suppressive fire, let me just get the rules up. Suppressive fire, though it may a character sprays a triangle, maximum range of the weapon within 10 meters at its end and a height of 2 meters. So where would 10 meters come? Projecting shooting character outward up to a distance of his choosing, up to a maximum range of the weapon, and with a width of 10 meters at its end, and a height of 2 meters. So what's the maximum range of your weapon? Oh, hang on a minute.
I'm trying to pin as many of these as I can.
Sorry, they can't hear you. The stream can't hear you. They can only hear me. I didn't release your sound. I've done it now.
So this is 10 meters there.
Okay. Is that your maximum range from?
No, my maximum range is 50 meters, but I'm.
Yeah. So what we need to do is 50. So you can actually, so you can't get this guy up at the top because he's more than 2 meters up, but you can.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you can actually, so you want to cut it short so you don't include Margot into your.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I want to just try to.
So you're whose is that red line?
That's mine.
Right. That's not what you're doing, FaZe, isn't it?
No, I'm just saying that he can do up to 50.
Yeah,
So
I
I
need
was
to see
marking
what you're doing, FaZe.
So I'm doing suppressive fire down.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 meters down.
At these
At
guys.
that range, yeah. Okay, then, so that's cool. So you need to make a weapon skill plus your agility with limit as your accuracy, including bonuses for smart gunning, later sight, etc., etc.
Okay, so what range do I take it in? Because I'm going to take that's what.
No, you don't.
15?
You don't.
Right, I don't.
You just do a weapon skill plus your agility.
Okay, so which is a normal roll, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've.
So just so you know, any character who is in the suppressive area, okay, or who moves into or out of the area before the end of suppressive fire, because you're doing this right the way to the end of the round now. That's what you do. The character must make a reaction plus edge test plus any dice that they may get as a result of choosing full defense, so they won't, with a threshold equal to the hits scored by the suppressive attacker. Note that in the test you use your full edge rating regardless of whether or not you spent any points during the session. If the test fails, the character is hit, suffering damage equal to the base value modified by any special ammunition.
Okay, so I'm rolling normal dice. I've aimed for a round, which gives me plus one.
Yeah.
And I'm also smart gun linked, which gives me an extra +2.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to be at +3 for this.
Right. So you're rolling your weapon skill plus agility plus any other bonuses.
Yeah. So it's just normal weapon roll +3 for my.
Unless you want to edge it.
No.
Okay.
Can't afford to edge it.
3 successes.
So this
3 successes.
This is going to last till the end of this round.
Yes.
But this is actually 20 rounds. I'm burning half a clip on this.
So you're not doing it. Is that your roll then? 3 successes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need to roll a reaction plus edge. Okay. So none of my cultists have edge. Okay. None of them have edge. So I'm just rolling my reaction. Okay. That's all I've got to add. The threshold equal to the scores hit by the suppressing attacker. Okay, so I must get more than 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is cultist 1. He failed. This is cultist 2. He failed. This is
cultist 2's a loser.
This is cultist 3. And he failed as well. Okay, so they all failed.
Did I manage to get cultist 4 in it, or was he too far away?
Well, the danger is if you get to him, you're going to hit Margot.
I need to cut it short because otherwise there's a chance to hit Margot.
So anybody who fails the test is hit, suffering damage equal to the weapon's base value,
7p,
modified by any special ammunition fired.
No.
So each of them takes 7p. Characters in the suppressive who remain behind. Okay, then. So they're then going to... Right, so let me sort this, because each one is going to do 7p, aren't they?
Apart from 4.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, apart from 4. Right, so just out of interest, 7p is also over their physical limit.
Wipe them out.
So
they're going prone.
So they are all going to be knocked down, no matter what. At that point, is it just normal ammo?
Yeah, it's normal.
Okay then, so that's you done now for the round. Okay then, cultist 4. Okay then, so there's all this sort of like, you sort of like shoot down and there's bullets flying all over the place. Cultist 4 appears to start to run towards the back wall, when all of a sudden he runs over that bubbly earth part, and all of a sudden these almost like insectoid legs burst out of the ground and grab him, and 2 mandibles come out and sort of like pincers come around and just sort of like slice him round his sort of like just below his armpit, and sort of like hold him there, and there's a whole load of screaming, and you notice that this ant almost like goes into the body. He's just sort of like almost like sort of like goes into the actual body, and then the cultist 4 appears to go limp on the floor. Right, cultist 3 is out of it. Yeah. Right, we need to... Hector's now out of it, because we'll change his initiative, but he's...
Yeah, we need to change initiative.
He's out of it there. But he can't... He's actually... not on there anymore. So Billy Bob, you're next on 6.
Why is that not changing?
Sorry, it's because it wasn't put in by you to start off with.
Oh, right, okay. So.
Oh, it's because Billy Bob, you're on twice.
It's because you're on twice, Billy Bob.
Yeah, 6 is your proper one. 6 is the next time you will act. So it's up to you now. It's your act
now. So I'm going to jump down hither.
So that's a meter.
And right, okay.
It'll be 12 meters. So that'll be 13 meters up to there.
Oh yeah, I've got yeah.
So is that walking or running now?
I'm running.
Okay,
so I'm going to make that easy. I've got 20 on running. Okay, is that all I can do?
Well, you're going to have to spend a complex action to actually undo her.
Yeah. So I'll do that then.
Okay, so what's happened here? FaZe is actually showering the whole area with bullets, and you're actually running with your head down, praying I've actually came round. Yeah, you will. You'll definitely go round the area, but you're still praying that there's not a loose bullet anywhere. And you sort of like get to her on 6, and you break her bounds, and she sort of like flops into your arms. Cultist 1 actually has an action on 2, but you actually see him, FaZe, crawling in this direction.
Which direction, sorry?
I'm moving him.
All right, okay.
You see, he's moving out of your suppressive fire.
Okay.
Okay. So
is there a chance that I hit him again?
No, because if he stands up, you do. If he stands up, you do. But if he just rolls, then that's it. Okay, so we're on to the next round. Because FaZe, can you actually click your character sheet and do your roll?
Yeah, sorry, I just need to take him off. I was on Mark again.
Oh, cool.
I'm doing it now, yeah? Are we doing initiative now?
Initiative now, yeah.
Right, I should have done it this time.
Cool.
Oh, he pulls it out the bag.
So both of you with 13. Right, hang on. I just need to
maximum.
So each of these have got 7, apart from one of them. So 7 will be -2, won't it? Yeah.
Say again.
They've got 7 physical wounds, so it's going to be -2 to their initiative. Oh no, I can't do that. Yeah, their wound penalty's gone off. Can you see that?
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're still on 10.
So this. Yeah. What did he roll?
You rolled a 6.
He rolled a 6. Yeah. This is cultist 2. Six. This is cultist 3. 5. Okay, so let me just add those because I forgot to click. Sorry, I forgot to click my tokens. That's what I forgot to do.
Pro streamer.
I know. Pro streamer is. I've actually done the whole of this stream with your names off. They couldn't hear you, and the interesting thing is.
Nobody said anything.
EK actually put it in the chat, but I'm not actually looking at chat. I don't have it open, and so nobody.
And I don't have it open.
No, so nobody actually had it open. So it's only when I glanced.
Zoom literally covering your stream.
Yeah, so it's only when I had a glance over that I saw it. I thought, what? So right, this is cult leader 12.
What's cult leader doing?
Last round, he sort of like traced some things in the air.
Right.
And that was it. Okay, then. So, FaZe, you are up.
Okay, so I'm going to shout on my sorry. So I'm going to sub-vocal it because he won't be able to hear me shouting because he's too far away and there's also a holiday gunfire. And I'm going to say, get Hector as well. I'm going to take aim and I'm going to fire a burst from my machine pistol because these guys are still prone.
They are, yes.
This guy's Mr. Ant-Man here is in. So I'm going to fire a burst at odd cult leader.
Okay, then. Cool.
Who is currently at my medium range from my... No, he's actually at long range. So I'm going to be at -3 for this.
Okay.
But I've aimed, which is +1.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing my a smart gun linked, which gets rid of any modifiers.
Yeah. Okay, then. So you're just normal.
So this is a 3-round burst coming at you.
Okay, so you fire off the 3-round burst and the bullets look like they're holding true and they go straight toward him and all of a sudden they go ping, 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 ping off some kind of barrier that he's erected around him. Okay,
Bitch.
Billy Bob, you are up.
I'm gonna throw her over my shoulder and make a run for Hector.
Right.
And try and drag him.
let's
possible.
oh no, not Hector. We need to look at you first to see.
Roll strength.
Well, I need to see how much you can lift. So, can you see on your ability underneath your ability scores, you have carry lift attribute roll? Can you see that?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, body and strength it must be.
Yeah. So roll. So hang on. I've just got your character sheet. So this is your first roll to pick up Margot. Don't roll it yet. So Margot's quite flimsy.
Limp.
You know, but she is limp. And as you know, limp people are a lot more difficult to. Yeah. So you need a threshold of 2 to actually run with her to Hector's position.
Roger. No modifiers?
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Wow.
So you run with her like that. Right. Now you can carry 10 can carry strength plus net hits. Lift overhead, lift, that's what you can lift there. Strength plus net hits. Okay then, so 4 6, so that's like you're carrying 60 kilograms at the moment, which is fine. That is Margot's weight. So she is
what?
60. Can you see underneath it says you can lift strength plus net hits. So
what times 10 kilograms? So what's your strength? 9
7.
is it? 7.
Wait.
7.
Yeah,
so
7.
that's 11. So that's 1100 kilograms you can.
What? No, his strength is what?
7.
7 plus your net hits, which is 4.
4.
And then
So that's 11 times 10. Oh,
times
110.
So 110 kilograms he can carry. So she is weighing in at 60 kilograms. So Hector, how much do you weigh?
A good 80.
Right,
I'm tall and lithe.
you can't. You've only got 50 kilograms to carry. So Billy Bob, there's no way you can actually pick up Hector and carry Hector and Margot at the same time.
Could he make another roll and maybe use a point of edge to redo the superhuman strength?
He can do, but he would have to have -2 because he's repeating a skill.
I haven't got edge anyway. I used it in the last one, didn't I? Can't remember what I used it for, but we haven't had a rest, so I haven't been able to get it back.
If he drops Margot,
what I'll do is I'm gonna run up, drop her off, and then run back for Hector.
Okay then. So that will be 13. That will be where you finish at 13. So the cult leader has an action on 12.
So what I've done, I've got her over my shoulder. I go to pick Hector up, and I'm like, "Sorry, boy, lad."
You might have had to make the choice which one to go with.
Well, she's money.
Oh, and you chose Margot. I
So,
would have chosen
money.
Hector.
So what?
He's still new to the group.
Just to let you know, guys, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to make composure test for my cultists, because at the present moment in time, there's been terrific burst fire. One of them has been eaten, and 3 of them have been injured. So they're going to make composure tests to see exactly what they're going to do, whether or not they're going to fight back or just crawl for cover, away from you superb warriors. So they're going to have -3 to their rolls.
Can I make a free action and tell FaZe to switch fire?
Yeah, as long as you haven't had a free action so far this round. Yeah,
I haven't.
So their threshold to continue to fight is going to be a threshold of 4. So if they get less than 4, then they're going to almost like go into retreat. So this is the leader. So he's going to start retreating. Let me just... Cultist 1 actually gets a critical glitch. So he's heading off.
You have a heart attack?
Well, he's... he can't actually move now. He is just sort of like frozen. He's
frozen.
Just sort of like this.
He's that scared. He's gone into his frozen shock.
He's sort of like pooing his pants at the present moment in time.
Is he wearing brown pants?
Yeah.
It's fine. We won't know.
We won't know.
Cultist 3 is and Cultist 4 is dead. So these guys now are in their composure is they are crawling away. FaZe, can you just make a perception roll for me, please?
Perception. Any modifiers?
No, I'll give you it. I'll give it to you.
5.
Nice one. Okay, you notice that this guy comes down here.
And which guy? Sorry,
the cult leader. And something that you didn't see before, just at the bottom of the ramp, there is a trapdoor. And you see him come down it and open it and sort of like slip down into it. And he disappears out of sight. Okay, the next, FaZe and Billy Bob, you are next up on 3.
Okay, so I'm going to delay my action, keep aiming.
This guy here, I'm going to...
Which one, sorry?
Cultist 4, I'm taken off. Because he's the one that got sucked into, got the insect into him. And now he's disappeared underneath the ground.
Okay, so I'm going to delay my action. I'm going to keep an eye out for anything that could make an aggressive action against Billy Bob, and if so, then I'm going to fire at it. For example, if Cultist 2 all of a sudden gets up and starts running towards Billy Bob or aims a gun at him, then I'm going to fire at him.
Right, yeah.
If a hellhound jumps out of somewhere and tries to eat Billy Bob's, as he goes across to Hector, because I presume he's heading back across to get to Hector.
Right, so these people are sort of like he's Cultist 1 is actually frozen solid, and Cultist 2 and 3 they're actually heading over this way, crawling as fast as they can in that general direction. That's what they're doing.
Well, that's fine as long as if they don't do anything aggressive. Then
no. So on 3 then, Billy Bob, as well, you can actually come and pick up Hector. So give me a roll.
The carry and lift thing.
Yeah, carry and lift one.
Oh, was that supposed to be a -1?
No, it's fine because you've done something in between now. You see, you've put her down and you started doing it again. So 5 successes. So your strength is 7. 7 plus 5 equals 12. multiplied by 10. So you can pick 120 kilograms, which is fine for Hector. You sort of like whack him over your shoulder and head back to this.
120. What's that? It's like 20 stone.
No, you could do 120, but he's 80 kilograms. He's 80 kilograms.
I know that. Yeah. I was just 100.
I don't know what it is in stone. I'll pass.
It's a lot.
120 kilograms in stone. 18 stone. Well, nearly 19 stone. Yeah.
19 stone.
Nearly 19 stone you can carry. You can lift your strength 7. 12 times 15 is what you can actually lift. So you can lift 180 kilograms, which is like 28 stone.
Did Hector take all physical damage, or was some of it stun?
All physical.
All physical.
He dead.
He's
I'm bleeding out.
He's actually bleeding out. I need to check. I'm just exceeding the condition monitor. When the total number of boxes in a damage track are filled in, the damage still remains to be applied. One of two things. If a character takes more physical damage than he has boxes on his physical damage track, the character is in trouble. Overflowing the physical damage tracks means he's near death. Instant death occurs only if the damage overflows the physical damage track by more than the character's body attribute. I think on your character it actually says physical overflow.
I've got 2 left. I'm on minus. I have 10 health. I've taken 11 damage in total. I've got 2 out of my 3 overflow left.
Okay then. Characters whose physical damage has not been filled can survive if they receive prompt medical attention.
I'm not a tank.
Overflowing the physical damage track means he is near death. Instant death occurs only if damage overflows the physical body track by more than the character's body attribute. 1 point over the limit and his memory will be toasted at their favourite... toasted as in cheers at their favourite Shadowrun bar. Characters whose physical damage overflow has not been filled can survive if they receive prompt medical attention. So
right, okay. So the only we can't use a med kit because we don't have any supplies left in it.
Well, you can use it.
Have you got any edge left, Longshanks?
I have 1.
Right.
What's
the edge that prevents death?
There's hang on. No, there isn't.
Dog wagon fast.
Yes.
If the cumulative overflow damage exceeds about...
Knew it.
Right, hang on then. So we need to know...
Not dead yet.
I did my job. I stopped the big ant beastie eating Margot. That's all that mattered.
Big ant beastie.
I'm just imagining Big Beastie with ant-like pincers on his face, going nom 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 nom. Like that episode in The Simpsons, you know, when Homer goes, "Now, Pie, if you get in, it's your own fault." I'm just imagining that, but with an ant going.
Well, who is your next character going to be anyway?
Don't know.
Bring back carrot.
I'm not dead yet.
Okay, here we go.
So you could have rolled like an extra. If you got edge left, you could have rolled an extra 10 dice to do your absorb.
Yeah.
Rather than dying.
I didn't know that was going to kill me until it did, and then
yeah. So
it was too late.
So what I would have done is that when I said something like 10, when you rolled your armor, and I said, oh, it's going to be 10p, that's when I would have said, I'll edge the roll, or I'll redo it, anyway.
Well, it would have been a post edge. So what it means is that you don't get you just roll your ones that fail.
Yeah, any fails would be able to do. Anyway, I found it.
It wouldn't have been enough anyway. So.
If no medical attention is available, the character takes 1 additional point of damage from loss of blood shock for every minute he manages to hang on. For every body minute he manages to hang on. So what is your body?
My body is 3.
So he literally has 3 minutes to hang on. And then that's it. He's literally dead. No medical supplies is a -3 modifier on the heal. So
9 seconds have gone.
So what's your wireless med kit phase?
It's a rating 3.
So you would have -1 to your modifying roll because the wireless would be +3, and then you would get -3 due to no medical supplies. And then the only other he won't have he is awakened because he's an adept, so you'll have -2 to your roll. So you'll have -3 to your roll, to your dice pool.
And I've got to get a minimum of 2 successes.
Yeah, so anything above 2 would stop him deteriorating.
But if I failed it, I would then be at another -2.
Correct, yeah. So edge at this point would be advisable.
If I aid him...
Do you have a first aid skill?
I don't, but would there be like a basic like military...
Well, hang on, let's see whether or not... Does first aid actually... does it default onto anything?
No, I've got a way that he can aid me.
I hate to think what this is going to
do. You want to aid me?
Yeah, I'll aid you.
Billy Bob, do you want to aid me? I'll give him my machine pistol and say, hold this.
Put him out of his misery, yeah?
I can't even find first aid. Where about? Oh, first aid. Yes, it does default onto logic. So if you wish to do a team test, then you would roll your logic, and any dice over 2 successes would actually give FaZe extra dice.
What's your logic?
Logic's 3.
Hector suddenly sort of like does that, you know, when somebody's about to die, they suddenly come back to like full life.
Oh, fine!
And I'm just saying, hold the gun, Billy Bob. And then I collapse again.
Okay, it's going to get to the point that whatever you're going to do, you're going to have to do it quickly.
Yeah, I won't.
Okay, I am going to burn edge, and I'm going to do smackdown.
Okay, then. So that means you'll lose your edge, won't it? Just 1 point. That's correct, isn't it? So if you're burning your edge, that point of edge will go forever. So you will not be able to do it. And smackdown gives you...
it doesn't matter what I roll. I got 4 successes.
That's what I was... Is it 4? I knew it gave you X amount of 4 hits. Yeah. So you can actually... So smackdown... Actually, you will burn your edge, and then that's it. It automatically gives 4 successes, which means Hector will be 4 successes will actually give him 2 boxes back. But which will 2 boxes actually bring you conscious or not?
Yeah, I have 1 health left.
Yeah, so Hector's in a pretty bad way, but he is healthy.
Can he make his own way out? Because there's no way that I can carry anybody.
So what? How many boxes were you down below physical?
I was -1, so I'm on.
So you're on 9 boxes.
Yeah,
So I've taken 9 boxes of damage out of my 10.
Yeah, so you can move. You're up and running.
Yeah, he's up and running, but he can't really do anything.
But he can get out on his own steam because I can't carry.
Oh, please. Well, you might be able to lift him.
I come as Faze does whatever he does to me, probably sticking some sort of needle straight into my heart. I come round singing and like just hum the Milky Bar Kid theme song.
That's the other nice thing of Burning Edge, isn't it? Not only Smackdown, which is nice, but also not dead yet. And that actually, if you burn Edge with not yet dead or not dead yet, actually allows you to avoid the death roll. So avoid the bullet. That's a glitch. So you get hold of his arm.
I grab her, put her over my shoulder, but she carries on.
Okay, guys, you managed to get out with Billy Bob carrying Margot and Hector hobbling along. Once you get back to the train, the tubes are now actually working, but it's quite easy to waste a period of time, and you can either go out the maintenance hatch or out the main area. It's probably better to go out
the maintenance hatch, seeing we've got somebody with a bullet wound and an unconscious woman.
Probably.
But let's face it, we've all been in a railway station with an unconscious woman before.
Can I just say, before anybody on the stream says anything, I haven't. Just so you know. Okay, so you managed to take Margot back, and she's not actually. It's just like cuts and bruises. Obviously, you're interested what's happening, and she tells you that what she actually heard was the fact that she was being captured for to play host for a spirit, and it might be something that you might want to ask your talismonger about, Faze, unless anybody's got any magical theory roll or anything like that. It might be better wait to your to get in touch.
Could I Google it?
Well,
you could ring Carrot.
It's almost like your talismonger will probably be the best option to sort of like ask about at a later date. The other thing is, of course, Mr. Simile is really pleased, and he actually pays you the 6,000 credits each as arranged because you have returned.
Is he having an affair?
Can we ask for more, seeing that Hector like nearly died?
I think the danger with that is that Hector would have to make a negotiation roll, and at the present moment in time, he's going to be so negative.
He's not right state of mind.
Give us more money and spread blood in his face.
What was the adventure called?
Missing Margot.
Missing Margot, and it was 6,000.
Yeah, it was 3,000 for her location, 6,000 for her safe return. So you each get 6,000. You do get 2 karma points for staying alive. And
how many does Hector get?
Well, it does say
because he was officially dead.
It's interesting here because it says. You get 2 karma points for surviving alive, and then it says 2 for completing the task alive.
So what was he actually alive when we rescued?
Yeah,
Margot?
well, that's up for you to decide. So you will.
They were dead.
You will get 4 karma points for the adventure, plus 1 for heroic acts. Plus 1 because you actually found out the correct information about her as you went.
So is that 5 now then?
You actually get 5
karma
karma points. Yeah, and 6.
Does that include me?
Is
Honestly.
that 9,000 altogether?
No, 6,000.
6,000
For the location, 3 for the location.
No, if you only found the location for her. So if you went back and said, "Yeah, we found her. She's in that building. Get her yourself," then he would pay 3,000. If you returned her, he's giving you 3,000 for the location plus 3,000 for coming back, which gives you a total of 6,000.
And then I'm wanting to go to Ida and get medical attention as well, which is going to cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay then. So that means that you have successfully completed the adventure, but probably some interesting things that are out there about certain things that are happening. FaZe, you are 1 edge down.
FaZe is really pissed off now.
Yeah. How many edge did you have in total?
I had 5.
So now you will never have more than 4 ever. So
Damn it, Hector.
Hector,
Stop trying to be a tank.
This is one
I
of
wasn't
the.
trying to be a tank. It was that split moment decision. I was playing as Hector, split moment decision. The tempo of whatever it was they were doing was getting to the end. Something bad was going to happen. Do I stand around?
I thought. Can you
or
see?
do I act? And I acted.
I thought your way you would cope with it, and I'm quite happy to say this. I thought what you were going to do is try to take out as many from behind as you possibly could before anything happened. So because I was thinking that there's 3 of you. And because they were facing the other way, they wouldn't get a dodge, wouldn't they? They literally wouldn't get the dodge. So it would literally be da-da-da. So, and some of you can actually take them out with 1 shot, can't you?
I was just going to keep aiming as long as I can until they actually noticed that we were there, and then I was going to open up.
Yeah. So I was thinking, and this is not the way to do it. This is what I thought you were going to do. I thought you were going to try to take them out, as many of them, knock them down with your stick and shock rounds or whatever, until you had to engage with them. Because then I was thinking, they're not likely to run towards you, aren't they? Those guys, they're not.
No, you said they had
pistols.
They have Rugers.
Browning high powers. Yeah.
Yeah. So they would have obviously, well, in my opinion, they would have obviously stayed and fought. Well,
I would have thought, and what I would have made them do, I wouldn't make them run towards you, because that's, when somebody's got the high ground, it's like attacking in Norman time, unless you had to attack. I think as cultists, what I would have made them do is probably head to the cover, and try to get out the way as quickly as possible, which would have been interesting because it means that as they went for cover, you would have actually had further shots at them. And then I think that's, I don't know what I would do then. And I'm not saying that is how I thought it should have been played. I must admit, when FaZe started to take aim at the cult leader, I thought that's what you were going to do. I thought you were literally.
I was just going to keep aiming, and then as soon as he got sort of up to the end of his, his last bit, putting his arms up in the air just to do the final thing. That's when I was just going to do.
Because what's the
but by that time, I should have been at something like another +3 because it was at a long range for me.
Yeah, but what's the maximum you can aim? There's a maximum.
3 rounds.
3 rounds. Yeah, is that 3?
Well, for me, it is. It's linked to something. It's something like.
Is that 3 rounds or 3 simple actions?
3 simple actions. You can have them, but it's something to do with your willpower, I think. That you can do
because you're sort of like going like that, and then you have a choice. You either fire it or you go, oh no. You know, and then
well, it's one of those things like you're like holding your breath, but after a certain amount of time, your hand starts to shake.
Yeah,
I was like that when I went to the dentist to have my filling done. I could only hold my mouth open for a certain amount of time, and then after that, my chin started to and he had to.
And he just went.
He had to he had to say and take a break. Well, he didn't say it like that because he's actually Russian. He's called Vladimir as my dentist, so he said like
Vladimir. Okay, guys.
Take a break.
So well done for that. I do apologise for everybody watching the stream because I think when I look at the actual stream back, I think I didn't release your voice chat after the break. So there's.
Do you want us to record something and send it off to you just so you can do the YouTube?
I think that would be brilliant. Or I might just sort of like. Put a break in and then come back at a later point. I'll see what it is, because the annoying thing is that if it was recording, it's recording through OBS and not through Zoom. So if it was recording Zoom, then the sound would be there, but it's not. It's recording through OBS.
Maybe you should have another audio track from Zoom as well, and then take it if you need it. Anyway,
I'll see what it's like. So
I'm Chugga Wugga. You can find me here on Tuesdays. In Wills's channel on the weekends where I moderate. And starting Monday, you will also find me in a new series of a role-playing game, which is actually called Mithras, and it's based on the RuneQuest 6 rules.
Correct.
And yes, you will find me there, where I will be playing a character who I am still working on at the moment. I'm just sorting out his background. I've done all the cast of characters, and I'm just
thank you, and moving and moving on.
And he's Ginger.
I'm Big Beastie, and before Longshanks steals it, and you can find me in my channel, occasionally streaming. And down there in my channel is all my social medias where you can find out when I occasionally stream and whatever else. And also, same as what Chugga Wugga said, I'll be here on Monday in this channel. And also on... No, not this. Is it this Saturday?
No, it's not this Saturday. No,
there's a break this Saturday.
Yes. So I won't be here this Saturday playing no Dungeons and Dragons.
You were playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon.
I was indeed. I was.
Excellent. And then Longshanks EPG.
Hi guys, I'm Longshanks EPG. You can currently find me as long as I survive still.
Sorry, that came out in robot language. It came out.
You can find me killing my internet. No. Hi guys, I'm Longshanks EPG. You can find me on Tuesday nights in Will's stream playing Shadowrun, as long as I still live. And Monday night, maybe, if my character's made in time, playing Mithras.
Yeah.
And then otherwise just chilling in either in Will's or Big Beastie's stream, causing mischief.
Excellent. I'm in Will's, and you've been watching Shadowrun here in the back of Beyond. Did you see that role for it is not going to be playing Shadowrun?
Yeah, they're finished.
Yeah,
did 2 weeks ago.
Did you see? But did you see what they're playing now?
No, I haven't.
They put it on Twitter, and they're doing it on the 13th, which I don't think is a Sunday or Monday, the 13th.
It could be the Friday. They do Friday sessions.
Yeah, but it's Lala the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, lovely!
Is a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So that will be instead of Stars in Their Eyes, won't it? No, that'll be instead of Shadowrun. Yeah, that'll be the Shadowrun one.
Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Lala the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I don't know. So we will be the only Shadowrun players. everybody be flocking to us. I doubt it. Anyway, yes, thank you for coming along and supporting the stream. I really do appreciate it. And please do press that follow and come back and enjoy the next time we stream. Until then, I would like to say to each and every one of you, have fun, guys, and I'll catch you all later. And until then, consider yourself well and truly waffled. Have fun, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I'm not doing the waffling sound this time.